What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Loot Bros podcast. I'm your host, Resident Darrell, and tonight I've got the band is all back together. Super stoked to have all of you guys in the same place at the same time. We got No Show Joe. He's back.
I am no longer No Show Joe. I will be returning full time starting this Thursday, and I should be on mostly every Thursdays, but there's no more like, oh, Joe can't record on Thursday anymore. So
that's right.
Fix that problem. So.
Yeah, but there still is. Joe can't finish his pledge games.
Ooh.
Well, if someone didn't pledge me a long ass RPG that's like almost 100 hours to complete, wouldn't have this problem right now, would I?
You have a year to finish it. I don't want to hear any excuses.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. A year, a decade. What's the difference? What's the difference?
When did you pledge that, CJ? Am I running out? I'm running out of time, right?
You're out of time. Yeah, you're out of time.
It's been a year.
The biggest one last.
No, I don't think it's been a year because the game's only been out a year.
Yeah, it's been a year.
Do you know the funny thing? The funny thing about that game is I've started it like 6 times across 2 consoles, and on the Xbox, I don't know, I'm 3 hours in, it's fine because you can't fuck your save up. Thanks God, Phil, sort of this out. But on the fucking Jimmy Ryan box, I've deleted the game. I've deleted my save accidentally. My system crashed the PS5. So I've lost my save in that game 4 different times and restarted every time. And the last time, this weird thing, Darrell, with the PS5, it's all over the shop as you all know, but sometimes I go to close the game and accidentally delete the game instead. I don't know how that happens, but of course it takes like a month to download that game here. But for some reason, it also deleted my save the last time. So I threw the controller at the wall and I haven't been back. So I've played the first 4 hours of that game 6 times.
Jeez.
I need to buy a skip. If they could just make a skip into chapter 2, I'd be away.
I think you should just like hit the X button over and over again when people talk, and then you might actually get somewhere. Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to play that and Persona 5 at the same time. And it's not really working out for me right now.
That's a terrible idea. I tell you what it is, CJ. Is that, by the way, guys, CJ's here for our big recap. What it is Jimmy Ryan, he's got his finger on the pulse of that PS5. And he's like, this mother effer right here, always talking to him, always praising Phil. I'm going to show him. What's that? Hey, you guys down in the admin, delete a safe. Boom. He sits back on his big fat yacht. He's like, this is the franchise worldwide. Jimmy Ryan. So yeah, talk junk again. CJ. Oh, what's that? Delete a save again. He's got the kill switch.
Isn't his name Crying Jimmy Ryan now?
No. That's what those sacred nerds call him. He is the franchise worldwide Jimmy Ryan. He's out there wheeling and dealing, kissing babies, stealing girls. I mean, he's basically the Ric Flair of the gaming industry.
I thought that was our buddy over there running the Game Awards, Jeff Keighley. I think he's the more Ric Flair of the gaming industry, kissing Kojimas and hugging developers.
Hey, he sent that little dude out there to praise Bill Clinton, the reformed rabbi.
I mean, he let Christopher Judge talk for like 900 hours and ruin the rest of his show because he had to cut everybody else short.
Hey, you know what? He's got to do. He's got to make people happy. So, and then bringing up the rear, we got the bearded nerd. What's up, Zach?
Hey, yo. How's everybody doing? Merry early happy holidays. Well, it won't be happy holidays. Merry Christmas whenever you guys hear this. It'll be the day after.
Right.
So I hope you all had a fantastic Christmas and welcome to the Loot Bros, your Monday morning delight.
That's right. It's better than
very professional, sir.
He's got the smooth voice. He's a smooth operator here.
That's right.
Just before we go any further, I'm going to stop pushing buttons because I've already fucked this program up. On my end, just while you were doing the intro there, Darrell, it was like 0102. Resident Darrell has something to say. Bearded Nerd has something to say. And I don't know, but there's somewhere on this program that you can get a voice talking to you. Have you had that before?
No.
I don't know how it happened, and I couldn't understand what was going on. And it's like, but it stopped now. I don't know.
Okay.
That's weird. So it's totally irrelevant to you listeners. But
no,
Wait, let me see if it'll work.
There we go. It lifted.
You just like moved yourself. What the hell did you just do?
So you know how you can like make your dinghy jump? You know what I'm saying? You just put a little.
So you're saying he's doing cock push-ups in the background, right?
That's what Zach's doing. Do it again, Zach.
He's like, how many can you do? Well, one you need.
It looks, his whole screen's going up on there. People, all the listeners can't see what we see, but yeah.
Well, I mean, we have to post this now.
No, I'm not recording the video version.
So why not? I mean, I'm actually like not playing games this time because CJ's here, so I'm like, my entire attention is dedicated to the show.
I really thought we were going to do this whole podcast where all I'd hear was your voices. Every time you speak, the program says, blah, blah, blah is going to speak, blah, blah, blah is going to speak. Would have been insane.
CJ would have just hung himself before this was all over with. It's like, what happened? What happened to our friend? He's dead.
This PC just go outside and grab a spider.
Now it's got two.
Just go outside and grab a poisonous spider. There you go. You don't even need to hang yourself. You got so many killer things over there.
True.
All right. Check it out, guys. Before we can go into the toast, okay, Diego wrote in. And he said from the top of the show, before even doing the toast, unless CJ wants to toast to it, why is CJ stating that Diego is a 14-year-old coming on to him? So CJ,
it's quite a mouthful, isn't it?
I love how you saved this.
Yeah, it's a mouthful. Right?
This in context was right. For the whole year, he's just been like hardly scoring. It's not his fault. He's a young dude. He's trying. It's just tough out there, I'm told, Darrell, or whatever else. But anyway, all of a sudden, he's just put the hammer down on me. I'm an elderly gentleman. It is elder abuse. I put that in the thread. That's what it is. Right. He's just come out of nowhere or whatever else with God knows how many people playing on his account because, Darrell, I know that's allowed now. Your children.
It is.
No worries. Totally whatever else. Team accounts. Yeah. But he's just come out of nowhere and he's coming harder than a 14-year-old at junior prom. And look, Darrell, you're approaching that age. I'm sure you walk around the house with gloves on all the time. It's a sticky situation, and we've all been there. We've all had that experience, and I don't know how old Diego is. Hopefully he's over 14. Otherwise, maybe your mum can explain that one to you.
So here's the thing. A little context, guys. Diego has he's got a hard on for CJ. I mean, he's just coming after him. Like all of a sudden, he chose out of everyone out there scoring and popping points. He chose you. You're his Pokemon.
I reckon he's got his Iguana Bros playing for him or something.
There you go. Well, I hear he's down in Florida. I hear he's out working his job in quotes with his Nintendo Switch and his Steam Deck, and he's out there playing games. I would argue he might play games on the clock more than Tricky Mick. Poops in the hopper.
What I like is he's stopped for the last couple of days, but I can see so that you're playing Sniper Elite 3, that's hardly a game, and you're at the second last mission. So I know before this is over, you're going to post 3 points just to continually, abuse me.
That's right.
Kind of hard, but it's just wrong. That's why they got me on here, so I don't have a chance of catching it.
That's right. Actually, that's what it is. We're all in cahoots with Diego to keep you from playing games because if you podcast for 3 hours, he's got 3 hours on you.
I'm just waiting till we get to the 29th of December and JT realizes there's a whole other page he forgot to add to the spreadsheet. And he's like, oh, shit, doesn't matter. We'll just move that to the side.
Yeah, he just fucking puts them all at one point. Boom.
That's right. Yeah. Oh, shout out to the commissioner. So, all right. So, hey, guys, we're going to go ahead and toast. Thank you, Diego, for writing in. Man, I tell you what, I can feel it. The energy is hot tonight. We're going to have a good show. I was super, super excited to get to this one. I basically told my family, Christmas is over. GTFO, let's go.
Back it up.
All right. So we like to toast our Patreon producers. All right. We got a handful of you. Everybody give a shout out to Redbeard Rick. My name is Effin Mayo. That's the commissioner, by the way. So be nice to him. We got MZ Nitro. We got Sadik. And we got Johnny. Thank you guys so much for your support. I want to give a special toast to you, CJ, for all your support over the years, whether you're on the show or off the show. Tonight, especially being on the show, we're super stoked to have you here. And we're going to pour a little one out for our man Joe for being able to schmooze up to the wife to give him back to us on Thursday nights. So we definitely appreciate that. Also, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, all that good stuff. I see Mountain Lightning.
Gatorade.
H2O. Mm-hmm. You know what? Yeah, I'm just gonna make it aware if I have to step away for a poop break tonight. It's because I've reached the back end of the vid where now it's just water.
The back end of the vid. That's right. Yeah, because last week, 4 out of 4 of us had COVID.
Yeah, we all had COVID. Well, I think Matt was coming off of it, but I had it, and 3 of us had it. Yeah, 3 of us had it.
Yeah. All right, so here's what we're gonna do tonight. Instead of going into what we've been playing, we're gonna push that to the end of the show. Bringing CJ in, we're going to be digging into games for a while. I can already feel it. We're going to be talking about games for a good bit. So I'm going to save the rest of Diego's write-in for the community questions. Zach, if you want to go ahead and knock out our leaderboards
I sure can do that. I got them all ready and ready.
I hear somebody special has made it into the top of the leaderboards.
I have. So we're going to start with the True Achievements leaderboards. In first place, we got Sadik with 8,566 achievement points. His last achievement was in Long Ago, A Puzzle Tale.
That's a bullshit game, sir. You know, they may not know some of this crap that you've been playing, but I do, and I respect it. Well done.
He's really skirting the lines of what's allowable.
That's an extra. You probably don't know, but Microsoft, keeping up with Sony or whatever, because they're struggling 30% of the market or something. To Sony 70%, according to the FC, whatever you call that thing over there. But that game's one of the ones that has the extra 2,000 for just I'm not sure what you have to do, not much. So it's like a 3,000 point game. So he's really skirting the barrel there just to get his 8,000.
He had to beat Styling this week.
Yeah,
Styling, I'm styling on you, bro, in second place with 4,665 achievement points. His last achievement was actually in Halo Master Chief Collection.
It's a good one.
Yeah, well, he's making it through those games slow and steady, and he says he's ready to be done with the crapshoot that is 343 Industries, which I don't blame him. And in third place, we got Mr. Sony Pony to you, CJ, with 1,445 achievement points. Your last achievement that was logged is in Hindsight.
Good game.
And then in fourth place, we got GDI Master Ace with 630 achievement points, playing some Ni no Kuni, Wrath of the White Witch.
Ooh, very good.
And then I Drop Roaches is in fifth with 375 achievement points. He's playing Resident Evil Village.
Nice.
Congratulations to our top 5 on the True Achievements this week, and bouncing over to the True Trophies leaderboard. I couldn't get to first place because this man just he spams his pretty little life away.
Just before you do that, we've got to give Stylen a shout out, because really, to be honest, he's hate playing those games. And then I don't know if you saw, but I sent him a Noose picture the other day because I think he's pretty close to the edge. And then he posted in the thread, not only does he hate playing them, but what is worse than playing these games is playing these games sick. So I don't know if he's got the vid as well and he's just trying to hold off or something, but it's all going right for him at the moment, and he's playing some great games to enjoy this time of year. It's wonderful.
Heck yeah.
Well, when you have a little bit of time off, what else are you going to do but play some games?
That's what the vid's good for.
Yeah. And so in first place, this man's been spamming his heart out this week. The affectatious donk himself with 3,053 trophies. His last trophy was in the Golf G. And then in second place, it's just
nothing else you can say to that, is there?
no, there's nothing else. I got to it. Nothing
Didn't see the Golf G at the Game Awards. Did anyone see Jeff Keighley talking about that one?
No, I'm up for it too.
Well, I'm gonna make all my fathers proud here, and so in second place with 84 trophies this week is the Bearded Nerd. The last trophy I got was in My Name is Mayo 2. So awesome. So I got my first platinum today, and I couldn't help but send it to Darrell. I was like, I made you and Tricky proud today. I sent him the picture. I had my 10,035 tippity taps on the Mayo jar, and my first platinum was My Name is Mayo.
That's amazing.
I told Darrell I'm gonna have 5 platinums before the end of the year. It's gonna happen, whether it has to be spam or not. It'll happen. I'm just
glad you're a man of your word. I was getting a little worried because guys like Gareth have been writing in, just trying to keep you honest, saying, "Whoa, what happened?" So.
I tell you what happened. $3.97 for 3 platinums. That's what happened.
It'll get you.
And the best thing is now in 20 years' time, you can be like these other miserable bastard trophy hunters, and you can go, "Oh, fuck, I fucked up my profile. I put this game on it. It all sucks now. Life sucks. All these cheap games. Oh,
that sounds like what JT did before
they all do that. They hate
JT did it, and he was like, "Yeah, I'm going to keep my new profile clean and nice." And then like a month later, he's like, "No, I started spamming on that too."
Yeah, he's like, "Fuck it, I can't resist."
It's like a psychological thing, when you start a new account. It's like nervous wanking in public. They just, pick up the controller and they have to just put that on their account to start with.
Oh, my God.
It's like, give me that hit.
That's right. Just you want to start off with a bang.
I just need a taste. Of those dirty games.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, you know what? I wish this man would have played this earlier in the year. In third place, we got MZ Nitro with 35 trophies playing Sleeping Dogs.
Oh, such a great game.
I'm very jealous. I
want to play that again.
Do it.
I need to get a PS3 version so I have a reason to play it again.
There you go.
Or get a PC and play the PC version.
I'd rather shoot myself.
Do it. You won't.
Did you get your computer plugged back up, Joe?
Yes.
Okay.
100%. 100% I did. So I saw it go into like computer save mode, and I was like, "Oh shit, I'm gonna crash the show." I'm looking for the wire, and like it's right behind my computer. I like plugged it in real quick. I was like, "Oh
there
shit."
You go. Good save. Good save.
Oh my god.
All right. Anyone else, Zach?
Yep, we got a standstill for 4th and 5th place. We got Stink Palm and Gaz Davis, both with 34 trophies. One playing State of Anarchy, Master of Mayhem, and Pinball Heroes.
There you go. Getting it.
Actually,
I saw Pinball Heroes is actually it seems to be everyone's getting in on that one. All the trophy hunters are jumping on that one.
I don't know. I'll get into what's got its hooks in me right now later.
That's on the deluxe though, isn't it, or whatever else that one?
Yeah, premium or plus or extra, or whatever. Yeah, I'm in one of these trophy hunter groups on Facebook, and everyone's posting their Pinball Heroes. Well, I guess I'm joining the bandwagon. So I guess that one's like an hour to 2 hour long platinum, and it's got Nathan Drake in it.
Well, they had to sell their youngest child to be able to afford it, so it's good to see they finally got a game on there.
That's
Is it available in your country yet?
Deluxe, yeah. Sorry, Joe. Those 3 games are not available in Australia yet. We're
I was going to say,
I
I don't think Jimmy has been kind to you guys.
What is it? A couple of extra $100 for those 3 games? You must really feel it when you play them, do you, Darrell? It must feel like, oh yeah,
that's right. Hey, if you just be nice to Jimmy, just say, hey, you're doing a great job. Franchise worldwide, Mr. Jimmy.
I think he just wants you to tickle it a little, TJ, and then he'll allow you to log in over there.
All right, just remember this famous quote, okay, from Sir Phil Spencer, that PlayStation gets bigger by making Xbox smaller.
That doesn't even make any fucking sense.
But he said it.
He's the dude buying up like 90% of the industry.
He's like,
but we're making them smaller.
That's
which
right. PlayStation gets bigger.
They bought Bungie. That's what.
Listen, we're not doing this because we could do this all night. Like,
it's fact,
especially with CJ on the show. We're not doing it.
I know, right? I know.
We literally do this all night.
I brushed up on my Phil Spencer.
Isn't it funny though to buy the only live service game that no one's spending a lot in microtransactions anymore? Like, you could have bought any of the other ones, but Destiny, it's like those core group of 5 people that hate life are still playing it. And
that's right. We'll show them. We'll buy Destiny.
I need my shaders, man. I need my shaders for my gear.
Everyone's had a go at Bungie, and it's just your turn. You didn't do anything special. Bungie's broke up with everyone. So, like, what's Google's next, I guess. So, all right. Heading on over to the backlog beatdown. We are getting ever so close to the end of this one. And I got to say, guys, it's getting down to the wire. All right, first place, we got I'm Styling Your Bro with 182 points. Second place, we have Diego with 114. There's a little bit of a gap there. Third place, we have CJ with 112. So Diego has definitely gotten on top. Next up, we got Resident Darrell with 104. We got Redbeard Rick with 103. Got him. All right, we got Joseph. There you go. Joe Priestley, Mr. TMNT 84 with 89. We got Gaz Davis with 74. The Commish JT with 66. MZ with 52. Jared with 46. Yield 43. Yield's pulling away from Alex now. He's finally left him behind. Alex with 37.
You wouldn't be wanting to wait on that race, though, would you?
No.
Whoa, shit, he's going for the line. Whoa,
that's right.
Almost platted.
Right. Somebody's got to land dead in the middle of the group, and that's what they're fighting for.
Well, it's nice, you know.
There you go. Sadik with 29. He finally put the spam down and put a few actual games that qualify in there. Shout out to him. Kalai with 26. I think she's been at 26 since February. James the Nerd with 25, Tricky with 23, Noah and Zach with 21 apiece. Does My Name Is Mayo count? That one didn't quite make it, right? Just a little under.
Yeah, just a little under.
Just a little under. Maybe if you do the whole trilogy, the commissioner will count all 3 of them as one complete game.
He's just tapping really slow at the end there. It's like,
The third one's over an hour, so it counts.
Oh, the third one's an hour.
Is it really?
Yes.
It's a full.
There's all the
campaign.
walking simulator bullshit in it.
Oh boy.
There you go. All right, the rest of them haven't changed. Everybody from that point down is still what we've been repeating week after week. So we're gonna just give them a break from embarrassing them. All right, coming up, here's how the rest of the year is going to play out. We're going to have our games extravaganza tonight. And then next week's going to be our Game of the Month Club. We're going to be talking about Siphon Filter.
Ugh.
After that, we're going to be doing the recap for the Backlog Beatdown 3 and the launch of the Backlog Beatdown 4 with the new rules and the bonuses. So I'm pretty excited. I think this next one's going to give... I think the next one's going to be fun, and it's going to give some of that middle ground and some of that lower tier gamers an opportunity to get some bonus points to get back in the game. Or it's going to give people like Stylen a way to exploit the system and then elevate themselves even farther. Who knows?
You know what? I'm going to put a suggestion when you next meet this secret group with your cloaks and your eyes wide shut masks and whatever other debauchery you get into. I suggest that you use a reverse handicapping system. So make Styling start at minus 184 or whatever he's on, and let's see if he can dig himself out of that hole.
There you go. That's not bad. We should. I like this idea of penalizing for certain games, but having arbitrary numbers out there. So like you get penalized for playing first party games of any platform. But not telling you what you get.
With Sony, you already do. So.
I mean, you can't play anything on first party on Xbox, so you win automatically. You win automatically.
That's right. So, but the thing is, I wouldn't want to tell you how many points you get penalized because maybe it's 7, maybe it's 17. Who knows? So, we've been kicking around some ridiculous ideas. We're not going to do any of that.
I mean, I think you should give the Xbox people like plus 100 to start the year because like you don't have any games, so. Gotta give you some points. Feel sorry for you.
I just saw one of the questions that got written in for the community questions.
Oh, there's good ones tonight.
It's so good.
I guess someone listened to last week's podcast.
That's right.
He was all up in there, and I was like, "Oh, this is gold."
Somebody woke up this week, so I'm excited.
You woke the sleeping giant. We asked for it, and he delivered.
Oh yeah,
that's right. So
he's like, I will become community member of the year next year. he's like, fuck this bullshit. This voting system's crap because I should have won hands down.
That's so funny,
sir. You are proving your point, and you are in the race for 2023 already.
That's right. I would dare to say that Jared leads the race for 2023. Now, can he keep the momentum? Because 2022 clearly showed that Dr. Deuce was ready to be the community member of the year, and he just gave up. He just quit.
I mean, if he was the actual, publisher that we all know and love, Dr. Deuce would have taken it all the way to the finish line because those were, as we say, gold, and he could have won the golden poop sock.
But he didn't.
No,
he gave up. He gave it. He just handed it to Rick. He's like, hey, you know what? Here you go.
Rick, I don't want this, Rick.
That's right. You're the king these days. So, all right. Community questions. We're going to jump into these real fast, and we've got some good ones. So, I'm going to finish up what Diego wrote in to start the show. But first, I would like to point out a little bit of the housekeeping stuff, guys. Things that we skipped over in the beginning. We got a little bit of YouTube magic going on. Myself and the Bearded Nerd, we have our own channels launched where we're doing our physical video game hunting. I dropped a new video this week of my, just random pickups and things that I found. Working on another one now, trying to keep a good schedule of dropping at least a video a week. It really just depends on what I find. I'm not going to put a video of nothing out, so like there might be a week or two where, you just don't get a great one. But I'm really trying to make sure that, I'm not just picking up like, oh, I found a game for $20. Here's a video of it. But, the December challenge is almost completed. I would say it might be over with. Okay, so I'm going to show the crew here. This is one of the games on the list that I had to find.
Oh, you won.
This is not the game I'm sending him.
Yep.
Oh my God.
The one I'm sending him is even better. Now, I will say...
So I know what you're sending him now, because I already know. Because if it's better than that, then I know exactly what game it is.
Maybe we'll see, but you got to wait for the video.
I know.
So for the audio listeners, what I'm holding in my hand is a physical copy of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers on Super Nintendo with the manual. So I ran into somebody who had this. It's funny, actually. I created a Facebook group for buying, selling, and trading video games locally.
Hold on. How's that not cheating though?
It's not, because he didn't buy it online. He met up with a person locally to purchase the item.
But
so
he
still sourced
person online. I don't know. I don't even know.
Okay. So
even CJ, look at CJ back there. Like even
how
CJ
dodgy is that? Is it like an online seller, and you're like, sorry, I can't buy this online from you, but can I come over to your house and check out your souvenirs?
He's like, can't buy online because that's cheating. But we can be in the parking lot.
Wait till you see the video. Wait till you see the video. I filmed the actual transaction in a parking lot. Not this one. This one because this isn't the one.
Oh, Darrell, something's gone wrong with your life that you're filming. That everything was going right with that sentence. Filming a transaction in the parking lot, and then you hold up the
parking lot.
What is going on? I tell you what, you must be happily married, sir, because no one else would be filming that.
Yeah, so check it out. Back to my game.
He's like $5 is $5.
I'm holding a copy of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers on Super Nintendo with the manual. Okay,
I hate to think of the other hand's holding.
What did you spend on that?
This I paid $15 for this. So
that's okay. That's actually really good. No, that's good.
Not about $5 under market. Yeah.
Okay. Right. And here's the way it works. So I created this Facebook group for buying, selling, and trading. And I posted in there the list of the games that I had to work with for the challenge. And I said, hey, everyone in the group, if you have any of these games and you want to make a deal, I was like, hit me up. This guy hit me up, guy named Terry Washington, really great guy. Really enjoyed meeting him. Craziest thing is I've actually heard a lot of stories about some of the stuff this guy owns. I see that face.
Oh, right. Yeah. You enjoyed it. Right?
So
no shame in that.
He sends me a picture of like boxes and boxes and boxes of games, dude. Like this dude's got an amazing collection. And he's like, I got a copy of that. That's that Mario. Listen to me, Power Rangers, if you want it. So sure enough, so we ended up meeting up. He hooked me up with this. I paid $15 for it. Not the best deal. The deal I'm actually sending over is better, and I'm super super excited about it. I'm throwing this in the box though. Like Zach is actually getting this and the game for the challenge, because I just figured, hey, whether I win with this or I lose, it doesn't matter because Zach will appreciate owning this.
Can I ask, because I know this is like a big thing now, this reselling and business. So you're collecting, but it's like a never-ending, wheel or something, isn't it? Because you're building your collection, but then at the same time you're selling and you're giving it away. So like,
yes.
I don't know. It just seems like an oxymoron of
it's an addiction roller coaster.
It is. Yeah. It is. It's
then called, you give it away and you try and buy it again. Like
it's called speedballing.
Yeah, it's basically speed. It's crazy. I like watch it on YouTube and I can't stop watching it.
It's like speedballing. I'm getting super high and then I'm going super low as well. So I'm like taking a bunch of uppers and then I'm immediately taking a bunch of downers. And then I'm like, wait a second, I got to get high again. So then I take a bunch of uppers. So basically what I'm doing is I'm going out and I'm hunting games and I'm buying boatloads of games. I'm getting super thrilled, super excited, super high on that. I'll pull out what I really want to keep, and then I sell everything else as fast as I can to make more money to go buy more games.
I think you should do like a Phoenix reseller challenge where like you try to buy the entire Resident Evil series off of like a $5 budget.
Hey,
like just flipping.
Dude, that's
flipping to get the money and then buy every Resident Evil game that way.
And that's kind of what Zach and I have been talking about. It's so weird because I never even heard of Phoenix resales until I was already doing this. I didn't know that existed. I didn't even know that freaking Harry Tornado lives in my backyard. This freaking dude's got 350,000 subs and he's in my flea market every single week. Didn't realize he was this big YouTuber that does this stuff.
Did you meet up with him yet? Did you meet him yet?
Several times. He's awesome. Super nice guy. So actually took him
on the show.
I thought about it. I hadn't hadn't had that organic conversation yet, but I had actually took him.
Just ask the guy. like
what's he living in your backyard? Surely.
I know, right? Well, here's the thing. So, like the other day, I ran into him. He was filming, and I flagged him down. I was like, "Hey, Josh," his real name was Josh. I was like, "Hey, Josh," you got just a second?" And he's like, "Yeah, sure." Yeah, he's a great dude. Anyways, and I was like, can you meet my kids? Like they are so into your channel and stuff. They just want to say, hey. Sure enough. So they went up and they met their first YouTuber. To them, it was the biggest thing. It was like meeting Ric Flair. It was great.
It's like Dad's not a real YouTuber. No, he just has a channel.
That's right. So go ahead, CJ. What are you going to say?
What I don't understand, like, and Rick said this too, like, he likes to just look at his collection. So there's no attraction to playing any of these games then. It's literally you just want to buy them and get rid of them as quickly as possible. Get rid of them. That's what you're saying. So you don't want to play anything. That's what's happening.
I mean, I don't play anything anyways. I just put it in It's just like
you don't even have it like before. You like to pretend that you were going to play it one day. Now you just don't even try anymore. You're just like
So I'll say this: the actual collection that I've built and cut and kept in the past couple months is way bigger than you would think. It's crazy how I'm starting to fill up areas of the house with video games. And it's like before they sell, I've got a whole nother lot of 50 or 60 that I got to sell those. And before those sell, I've got another lot of 50 or 60 and I got to sell those. So yes and no. I'm pulling out the things that I don't want to get rid of, but I've sold a lot of games. I've sold so many freaking games, so many hundreds of games in the past few months. It's ridiculous. I sold 117 on eBay in the past 90 days.
So how concerned? So you quit your job. You spend most of your time doing dodgy transactions. You film in car parks and flea markets.
Yes.
You have filled the house with paper boxes or whatever. A bit of transient lifestyle. How concerned is your wife that you're reaching the midlife crisis, Darrell?
So she is concerned, but the money is in the green, not the red. So she's totally good. As long as we're in the green, we're good. So, well, with all that being said, hey, go check out the YouTube, Resident Darrell on YouTube, the Bearded Nerd on YouTube. We are going back and forth and doing these monthly challenges with each other. But in the meantime, I'm filming and putting out actual videos each and every week. And I'm trying to make them better. I'm trying to do more to make them entertaining. I've upgraded my camera already once. I think I need to upgrade again. Or order like an additional microphone just so that the sound quality is a little better, because something that drives me nuts is the sound quality isn't great. So I'm using a 4K camera, but the sound still isn't beautiful. But we're having a blast, and the kids are all on board too. So I've got Zoe her own camera now, so that she and I are going out hunting this Saturday, and we're going to have my cam and then the Zoe cam as we're trying to find deals. So
you ain't going nowhere if it.
Well, that's true. That's right. They're saying the weather's going to be single digits with 40-mile-an-hour winds, so we might not go hunting Saturday.
Yeah, you ain't going
tomorrow's
nowhere.
supposed to be like that for us. 60-mile-per-hour winds, almost freezing rain, which we're having right now.
Yeah, it's raining right now for us.
How is it freezing rain? Why is it not snow? It makes absolutely no.
Because you're in Satan's ass crack of America. You're in the state no one wants to live in. For some reason, everyone lives there.
Everyone lives there. Yeah, it makes no sense. I don't get it either. I don't understand our state. Yeah. Whatever.
So,
I reckon you need an angle with this, MLO officer thing, because you said that the market is not great at the moment. Like everyone, you know by now, Darrell, everyone that works for themselves is a little bit dodgy, especially in mid-service business like this. And so you need an angle. So you should be the guy on Facebook that sign out, buy a house or whatever, I'll give you a game. Shitty game that nobody wants.
Yeah, everyone gets a free everyone gets a free copy.
You could be like the game man. It's like Better Call Saul, but they'd have you in the game. I'll buy a house.
Yeah.
Everybody gets a copy of My Name is Mayo.
Or everyone gets a copy of the bouncer, or
Yeah.
You might even get this PS2 that has a disc in it that I don't even know what it is anymore.
Or Balance.
Or Burger King. The Burger King is a Sneak King game.
You say that, CJ, but one of the greatest things about this experience, I've been picking up all these consoles and buying these games, is like I plug them up to see if they work. I'm more excited to see what game is left in the system than I am to see if the system actually works.
I thought that was going to go that about this guy as an MLO officer in New Mexico that does this sort of thing. But unfortunately, it didn't go that way. So it's disappointing.
Joe, to answer your question, I'd say 98%.
98% of them have something in them,
dude. Okay, so I got a Wii U the other day. It had Gianna sisters or whatever.
Okay.
I got picked up a Wii the other day. It had Mario Tennis in it. Yeah,
like a $30 game just sitting in there.
God dog, what else did I pick up? I picked up an Xbox One and it had something in it. I picked up a whole lot of games the other day. It was like,
how's an Xbox have a game in it? They don't have any games,
dude.
How was there a game inside the system? Makes no sense.
It's crazy. It was crazy, wasn't it?
It's a ghost game.
I almost didn't check tonight, isn't he?
How many times have you had COVID now since you started this dumpster diving for games? Because it's the filth of everybody's touching. Like, do you wear a mask and oxygen tank and gloves?
I'm just raw dog and all the air and all the stuff.
He hasn't reached that level of depravity yet.
You look across at the other games, and there's a guy frothing at the mouth. Oh my god, it's here! Oh yes.
No, what it is you got some of these guys out there in masks and gloves, and they're held back. I'm like, look at you, man. Like, I might get COVID for the fourth time, but I got
400 more hours to play video games.
So I will say this week alone, I picked up the Animal Crossing Nintendo Switch complete. I picked up a Switch Lite. I picked up Catherine on the Switch. I picked up Smash Ultimate on the Switch. And tomorrow, as of the time of recording, I'm picking up Animal Crossing and Zelda Breath of the Wild. You boy, I got the itch, man. All of a sudden, I'm just like, I got to have Switch games.
Is this at the flea market, or you're buying these like at a regular store or something?
Tomorrow is a Facebook Marketplace deal.
Oh, okay.
So some of this
stuff, a hand job and a Switch.
We're meeting at a Food Lion, so God only knows what's going to happen there.
The most un-Darrell game ever must be Animal Crossing. I mean, it's just fantastic. But I'm glad you're going to have 2 copies of it because you need that.
There you go. That's definitely not going to get played.
Did you pay below market for the Animal Crossing Switch?
Yeah, I paid technically a lot for it. So let me tell you how this deal worked out. I should have filmed it. I didn't do it. I still don't feel super comfortable walking around with a camera on me. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just not like my favorite thing yet. Although
you're a white guy in America, what do you have to lose?
You know, when you say it like that. So I'm still trying to get
punches on this podcast, please.
I'm still trying to get more comfortable doing some of this stuff, right? So I didn't take the camera in, but I picked up a Sega Dreamcast with the EA Sports one, the black one, the super rare one.
Oh, that's rare, yeah.
Yeah, with the controller, with 2 controllers technically, and the Emerald Red VMU. That thing goes for $30 by itself. The Dreamcast is selling about $180 to $200 on eBay. That's what the comps were. There's a store I keep promoting in all of the little groups I'm in. This Overstock bins store, and it's one of the bin stores in our town. But I'm getting pretty chummy with the owner. You know, he and I have been getting pretty friendly, and he cuts me really good deals. So the guy that runs the video game section, they have a whole game section just so people can trade in their stuff, and you can trade in your game stuff there for in-store credit, and then go shop in the bin store or buy furniture. That you can legit buy furniture with your credit in there. So
that's some South shit right there,
dude. Is
trade in your video games and buy furniture,
dude.
Like that shit would never happen up here in the Northeast,
dude.
Because everything's full price. No deals up here. It sucks.
My brother traded in a whole bunch of games when we did that vendor event and bought a chair and a freaking picture frame, a $300 chair and a picture frame. Not even joking. So check it out. So I go in there, and I had a bunch of systems, and I don't like to ship systems online because some of my eBay seller friends have told me how bad they get ripped off shipping consoles. So I'm good with figures, comic books, video games, movies, things like that. But like when it comes to shipping a console, I'm just not that brave. So I come across these consoles for super cheap. This particular Dreamcast, I'm not exaggerating. I got like maybe $25 to $40 in the deal. And so I go up there and they give me like $150 for it in store credit. And then I brought in a Nintendo 64 at the flea market. I paid $3 for it. $3 for an N64 with the expansion pack. So I trade that in. They give me like $80 for it. I ended up they wanted $280 for the Switch. So I traded in those 2 consoles and a couple games just that I've been picking up in these videos. And I got the Switch and a couple games. That's what I ended up getting. So, actually, to be fair, let me back it up. I picked up a PS2 for $1. I picked up a PS2 for $20. I picked up a Wii complete for $25. So all that stuff that I just mentioned, plus a handful of games, got me the Switch Lite, 2 games, and then the Animal Crossing Switch as well.
The whole time you've been talking, I've been looking around this room and I see like dollar signs on everything now. It's fantastic. but what I wanted to say is, Darrell, I've got here. It's a lonely soldier. It's just one. Hang on, Joe. That's not what it is. It's a move. Is that what you call these things? It's just one move controller. Yep. How much for this one move controller? Can I send it to you? How much would you pay for this thing? And remember, it's only one. It just I
just bought one single at a yard sale for $4 the other day. Sold it for $20.
Done. So $4. Now, what would it be worth to you to complete the collection with a second one here? How much would the second one be worth? Maybe 6? Because you're matching pair.
That's what I would do. I would say, well, $4 a piece, or how would you take 6 for the pair?
Look at that. There we go. The fact that they cost about $100 here because Sony never sent any to Australia, and these both came from America. I had to buy them from there because they had none.
CJ,
$4.
When you need stuff,
it's a land of opportunity, isn't it?
Yeah,
it's what Biden has done. Biden has saved your country.
CJ, how much was the shipping more than the actual moves themselves?
I don't know, mate. So it was funny because it was when the PSVR came out, and to buy them here, like they were probably just old ones that Sony sent out from wherever they kept them, probably the garbage dump or whatever, probably where all the ET copies are. They're like, quick, dig them up, and so they were $120 for 2 of them. Yeah, in Australia, which is like $100 US, something similar like this. And they were, like what Darrell said, nothing over there. And so I think the shipping was $25 for both of them, and they cost, I don't know, $5 or something. So I think all up, I paid like maybe $40 to get them here. But even today, they're about $100 in the store. I don't think you'd find them anymore, but they're about $100 in the store. Yeah, it's crazy.
Yep. That's what I do.
What we're using with PSVR 2? Is this modern technology what we can expect to see for that $800 or $900 system?
No. We're getting new ones. They curve and vibrate.
Yeah.
So, all right. But yeah, anyways, that was a lot to get to. Check out the videos. Been having a blast doing this. This is what's keeping me sane. So, mortgage business, very difficult, very stressful. Flea markets, making deals, buying video games, makes me happy.
Say you're sane?
Somewhat sane. Insane.
Questionable.
Speaking of questions, let's jump into...
Wait, when do you pop the question to her that I'm going to become a full-time reseller? It's coming.
It's a funny story. She told me the other day, she goes, why don't you just do this? This is what makes you happy. Why don't you just do this?
Aww.
And I was like,
don't tempt me with a good time.
I was like, you gonna mess around and I'm gonna have my own bin store.
Be like, you are the best wife ever. Answer.
Yeah, she would, dude. Right now, she don't want me working. She wants me to be a friggin' house husband. That's what she wants. So she's off the next like 5 days, and I worked a solid 8-10 hours today on loan stuff, and she was in here like all day long. What are you doing? I'm like, I'm freaking working. What are you talking about? She just drives her crazy. She can't be home with me working. So
she's not used to it.
Are you sure she knows what you're doing when you say you're going to the car park to cut a deal? Do you know you're talking about a $4 deal here, not like a $4,000 baggie or something? She understands that?
Yeah. She gets it. She's watching. So this is all she cares about. She's watching the bank account and she's like, "Oh, you got paid from eBay again. Oh, you got paid from eBay again." She was like, "I'm not doing our taxes this year."
Oh my god, it's a nightmare.
Yeah, it is gonna suck. It really is gonna suck. So. All right, check out the videos. Before you know it, Zach's going to be doing the same thing. He's going to be going around and with his little camera on his chest.
What did you
I need to get
YouTube
a chest
account?
mount. Mine?
It's just Resident Darrell.
How is it not Resident Reseller?
Yeah, I thought about it, dude. I thought about it. I wasn't brave enough to commit it when I launched it because I didn't know that I would do that.
I don't know, man.
Well,
you could have branded yourself.
Well, you know, actually,
it's not too late.
I'll give it to him because he's going to do more than reselling content,
I've already got more on there than reselling content.
Exactly.
Too. Originally, it was supposed to be Resident Darrell was going to be the YouTube account that I used to post all the music projects that I'm a part of, any of the random one-off stuff. Like I needed a hub to just put things because I'm always like, I'll do a little bit of comic stuff. I'll do a little bit of horror stuff. I'll do a little bit of mortgage stuff, a little bit of whatever this. And it's like everything kind of had its own thing and nothing was growing, nothing was doing anything. So I was like, I just need one place to post a lot of this stuff because I didn't want to pay the hosting fees for 2 songs for one project and 8 songs for another and whatever. But I also don't need to have 11 YouTube channels. So I was like, I'll just make like a giant playlist of all this stuff. Well, I never did it. I just created the channel. And then when I made the first video, I was like, this is actually kind of fun. I kind of like it. So I did a few of them. And then I had this bin store I was telling you about. The owner's like, man, you really got to like do more of these videos. He's like, hey, we think it's fun to watch, the group that works there, because I'm getting to be friends with a lot of those guys. He's like, and B, you always come across these crazy cool deals. And then you tell us about them. I was like, oh man, we'd watch that. So it's just kind of turning into this thing. But Resident Reseller has been in my head for a while. I just don't. When I created it, I wasn't ready to commit to that.
I would name the show that and then just brand it. Brand
We'll
it, brand it. Just push it.
Maybe. We'll see. We'll see what happens.
It's good to see you're doing something you're passionate about. That's the main thing. That's awesome.
It's fun.
Right.
It really is fun.
It is.
And there's nothing in a hopper.
That's right. And there's nothing wrong with ham water for Christmas. Shout out to your kids.
That's right. All right. So Diego writes in, he goes, also, how does CJ afford all these new digital game releases while living in Australia?
I think when you talked about this the other week, I sort of laughed because I think you all grossly underestimated what you spend. I think you said like 1,000 Darrell or something across the year. I was like, yeah, okay, we'll go with 1,000 then. But yeah, I think it's probably a lot more than you think. Like, I don't know, because maybe you count the stuff you're selling against that, so you bring it down. I don't know.
I didn't. I just pulled a number out of my butt.
I think everyone spends a lot more than they actually think if you track it down. So yeah. But as I like that answer, it's I spend, Diego, just enough to buy everything that I want and a few things that I didn't know I wanted.
There you go.
Perfect.
There you go.
Yeah.
So, I would go on to say if we all jumped into Gareth's little spreadsheet and Phil actually kept track of that, I think we would get to that $1,000 mark real fast and go, whoa.
Yeah, I think you would. Yeah. It's funny because he sort of abandoned that, I think. I don't know why. But
maybe
some people,
how much you're spending.
Yeah, maybe that's right. But some people in that thread have kept going. And even the people that are like light spenders, like, you know, they're not spending much, like maybe, you know, 10 or 20 here. It does add up to, you know, they're spending at least $1,000 and they're buying almost nothing. So, yeah, you'd be surprised, I think.
I was spending $1,000 a year on spam games. And I was even saying, and that's only one region.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because JT messaged, like, he goes through these phases of, like, you know, doing the spam or something. And he's like, I think he wanted to get to whatever he wanted to get. And he's like, how much do you spend per month on, you know, these spam games? And I was like, well, like 300, I'd say, Australian, which, you know, like 200 something American. And across all the regions. And then I thought, like, that seems right. And then I did the maths and not quite right. But anyway, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter or whatever else. But yeah, it just like. But the funny thing with those spam games, you say that, but they're all only $1 or something. So you can buy 100 of them for 100. So it's not so bad. Where the spend comes in is this year.
They get you though.
Yeah, I don't know though, because I've stopped buying a lot of that stuff in the last few months, and I've been buying pretty much all the big games this year, and that's really where it hits you. Like, I didn't realize how expensive. You know, buying this, if you only play the spam, which a lot of those guys do, it's a lot cheaper than if you're buying all the big games. That's way more expensive, I think. It may be here because you get good deals over there. I know, like, you wait a few months and then you talk about your Walmart, you get them for like next to nothing and stuff. But the price they are at on day one is basically the price they are a year from now here. A few things differ, but not really. Like, not like you guys get.
Have you looked into the Turkish store like Gareth does?
No.
Dude, he's getting games for pennies over there.
Yeah.
That seems to be the way to go. Like, he'll buy 2 or 3 our price $30 games for $8 for both.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Like, I know he
sounds sketchy, and it'll get your account banned.
Yeah, Sony don't really care, I don't think. But I think you've got to use like some Bitcoin and a credit card, and it's a line further than I'm prepared to go at this point
for now,
or whatever. But on
you've gone this far, CJ.
Well, you know, the funny thing is that PlayStation rewards, you know, because like you got to spend a house worth to get $30 or something, but still it's something. But it is a good incentive because, like, you know, if I was going to go and buy something on the American store and like because it was a couple of dollars cheaper or whatever, I'm now like, well, you know, I'd be getting at least something on the Australian store. And like when you're buying quite a lot, it does add up. Like you're getting, you know, some money back all the time. Well, a lot of the time. So I think what they did there, like, it's a really bad deal, maybe dollar per dollar for a lot of people, but for people that maybe they were trying to curtail and keep them on their store or doing this dodgy stuff, it's in the back of your mind, well, you know, for every $100 I dump on the American store, I get nothing back at all. Whereas if I keep it on the Australian store, I get, you know, something back. So It's not all bad. Yeah.
That was what I used to do whenever the Sony Rewards was through their credit card and the separate system, you know?
Yeah.
I was buying so many digital games because you get all the points back and you get, you know, times 5 if I use my credit card on the store to buy a digital game. And then, and so I would buy all my games on discount there. And then it would give me enough credit to go back and buy my spam games. So I was getting my spam games to me for nothing. And then I would every dollar we spent outside of bills in our household was going on the credit card, and then I would just pay the statement balance off so that I didn't get any interest. And so for years, I was buying my games with in-store credit built off this system. And these systems really do get you, if you can wrap your mind around it, it'll force you into spending money a certain way. And they're smarter people than me are putting this together. So they know it's like, well, if we can do this, these people will continue to spend their money in a certain way to where the bean counters go, oh, we're making money hand over fist over here. We can throw them a little $10 incentive for every so many hundreds of dollars spent. They'll spend more because they're going to try to hit that. It's just like a trophy. It's just like a meta game.
Yeah.
They'll try and get that little reward for it. So it's a smart system to have. Xbox does the same thing.
And, it's better than, because, you had that, but we had nothing here. So anything is better than nothing. So while it might not be ideal, it's definitely better. But it's funny you mentioned that, because I'm all in favor of that. But the system, I think, that ruined it for now was the fact that they used to tie it to trophies too. Like, you'd get so many platinums. And so we never had that here either. Maybe it was just a US thing. And they used to have all these accounts with, before these like 1 minute games or whatever, VNs and things. And people would borrow them, and then they'd be like, oh, do you mind if I do them all on my wife's account and this account and this account? And I'm like, I don't give a fuck what you do, if you want to waste your time doing that. But they were doing it so they could exchange them for the platinum trophies for money, I suppose. And I think that's probably why the system is so rigid, tight now or whatever, because people abused it a little bit, perhaps.
I mean, there was a cap, but you could do that a lot, and platinum's counted for so much credit back. You could essentially a platinum almost counted for $1.
Yeah. But you can't, what are Sony and Microsoft supposed to do? I mean, they're dealing with the dodgiest angle shooting people in the world in gamers. So, how could you create a reward system that they're not going to try and, game? So
That's right. But it keeps us on their ecosystem. And the longer we're there, statistically, the more money we'll spend. So they know what they're doing.
Yeah.
So, all right. Diego continues to write in. He says, should we dig a grave for our wallets for 2023 just based on the first 3 months of game releases? What do you guys think? Are our wallets in trouble for the first 3 months of 2023?
Absolutely not.
Maybe not for you. I mean, already in the month of January and February, I'm already projected to spend $270. I'm like,
see, he'll hit 1,000 before you know it.
Are you going to get that One Piece game?
Fuck yeah. That's my jam.
Yeah.
I was like, okay. And then it's funny because what'll stop me from spending money? That Kakarot's coming to PS5 on January 13th. I was like,
actually, Joe, I just bought that. I just bought it on Xbox. I haven't played it yet.
Game is phenomenal. Yep. Even CJ can attest. That's one of the best games I played in 2020. One of the best. Speaking
of Dragon Ball Z,
2021 was that 2021?
It doesn't matter. 2020. It's all blur. It's all the same anymore.
So it was actually 2019 because it came out.
I got it. I got it for Christmas that year, so I played it 2021. Played it that January.
So check this out. Speaking of Dragon Ball Z, I picked up a complete Wii the other day at the flea market for $25. Came with 3 games.
Budokai 3?
It came with Budokai 3.
Oh, such a
that game resold for $44 within the first hour of me having it listed. I was cleaning the Wii, cleaning down all the games, and I was like, okay, there's a handful of these that I know will resell pretty quickly. So I put Budokai 3 on the Wii on eBay, and before I was done cleaning everything, that game had sold for $44.
Oh, Budokai Tenkaichi 3. You have to be very specific. There's the Tenkaichi.
That's too many made up words for me to even.
Tenkaichi was a series that was on the Wii.
You're lucky I said Budokai, right?
You could throw friggin' Kamehameha waves in that game with the Wiimote. That game was dope.
No, that game's anime. That's all I gotta say.
It really is an addiction. I don't even know what this is. Just sell it. Sell it.
Yep. Hey, but I paid for everything with that one game, and I made money. And then I turned around and sold the Wii for $50. So.
But what I think I said, I think I put in the group chat or on the Facebook page that basically this will be the best year of gaming hands down. And I just listed maybe 20 games and Dead Space 3 times or twice. Yep. I don't remember, but. Everyone was like, man, and I was like, I didn't even list half the games or a third. There was some video a guy put out, Darrell. I have to send it to you guys. it's like 256 games coming to PlayStation 5 and 4 next year. And like half of them are like good games.
All right, YouTube challenge for everybody. Let's buy all the games. First one to buy all 256 wins.
Nope.
Got to collect them all.
PlayStation Store bingo.
That's right. See, dude, if our podcast presence and our YouTube presence was big, we could do that. We could be like, you know what? Our goal is to buy every game.
You got to complete the Pokédex, have a full living dex.
There you go.
Living dex of games.
Yeah.
I think the biggest problem with this next year, it's going to be how many games are coming out. Like developers are going to have to fight for that dollar, and they better make good games. If your shit sucks for you, because there's so many things coming out week after week, especially in March. I think March, there's a game literally every week. That's like a top 5 game every week in March.
I can't wait for some of these games to bomb out so I can get them super cheap on the black market.
Like March is Resident Evil 4, Zelda, and I think Zelda's May, but Zelda's May, and then Street Fighter's in June, and then Final Fantasy's in June. I'm like,
did you see the guy at AEW holding up the sign that said "Change the Street Fighter 6 cover art"?
Yeah, this is horrible.
That's awesome. All right, one of the things I asked when I posted for this week's questions, comments, and concerns, all these, I asked the group, the listeners, what is the worst game you played? Diego writes in, says the worst game he played this year was Soma. Read countless of people praise the game, saying that's some next level story and how mind blowing it is. He said, I can't recommend steering clear of it enough and investing your time towards something else. He gave it a 0 out of 10.
It's pretty harsh.
That's pretty crazy. It's pretty bold words, because I remember playing the first couple hours of this game originally and I liked it. But to be fair, since he said it was such a stink fest, I've been playing on xCloud. I put my phone, I bought a little mount for my, I bought this for $5 out in the wild. I bought a mount for my Xbox controller. I put my phone on there. I said, let's go Game Pass, renewed it for $1. And then I started streaming it to my phone. And that first opening scene where you're stuck in the apartment, that's not very good. I gotta be honest. Not loving it. I don't remember that part at all. Like, I've streamed this game years ago and I don't remember this at all. And I probably spent 20, 30 minutes in the apartment, couldn't get out. I said, screw this, I'll play something else. So I played High on Life. Have you guys played High on Life yet?
I can't. Stuck on Game Pass.
That's a suck. So that's actually the thing that's got its hooks in me right now. Dude. It's really so us. Like, yeah, I we grew up on Family Guy and we grew up on South Park and all the really shitty, raunchy comedy animated comedy shows. So like Rick and Morty voicing a video game, and this video game kind of like we saw little tidbits here and there, but they kind of flew under the radar the whole time. They didn't really like do any big like, hey, our game's coming out soon. They were like, it was just here,
just kind of dropped. Yep,
yeah, just like here it is, and you go in the game and it is just. There's something mind-numbing about a game like that where you can just sit there and you can just play it and you can laugh while you're playing it.
Yep.
But it's a shooting game, so you do still have to think.
This was not my kind of game. This is South Park style crude humor, first person shooter. Like, I saw the videos for it and I was like, this is gonna be kind of lame. Yeah, who wants to play a video game where your guns are cussing at you? CJ. If you get time today or tomorrow, in the next couple of days, while it's fresh in your mind, just play the opening 30 minutes of this game. See what you think. It's hilarious. The tutorial is so funny. Like, I was playing it and I was laughing out loud. I was like, hey, this is Buck Thunder, and you got to go through this little tutorial section. You know, it's very much a parody of games. And the person talking to you is your divorce attorney. He says, hey, Buck, this is Phil, your divorce attorney. I'm really glad to be your divorce attorney. You're such a great guy. You're so awesome. It's like, by the way, your wife is sleeping with an alien. It was like some kind of bullcrap.
Your wife has sent all of her current boyfriends to kill you.
That's right. It's like, yeah, they're like a hive mind. She's effing all of them. It was so stupid, but it was just really well done, really well delivered. And I put it in with like 0 expectations. And I started playing it, and we were in a group at my brother's house doing we were doing a Christmas get together then. So we've already done 2. We got 2 more. So, and it was like friends hanging out, and me and some of the guys in there were just laughing hysterically. And so I'm playing it, and they hear the dialogue. They pull their phones out, and they start playing it too on xCloud. So we're all in there on xCloud playing the game. It's running like total trash, running like balls. Can't half see it, but you can hear it, and it was hilarious. And like I said, even if you don't like this kind of game, CJ, I think nothing else, play it for 30 minutes, get the intro in, and just laugh a little bit. I thought it was great. When I played that first 30 minutes, oh my gosh, totally sold.
You need to throw it up on the 4K TV.
Heck yeah.
And really enjoy the beauty. No, it's for being a game that like kind of just came out of nowhere. Like the graphics in it and the attention to detail in a lot of the parts is just phenomenally done. And especially like, so if you're like sitting around for too long too, like let's say you're in the house and you're like sitting there looking at the TV, you can see your gun staring at the TV, and then it'll start talking to you and like talking shit to you. Like, why are you standing here? Like, don't we have a job to do? And like, he'll like actually harass you. Like, so there's like full on interactions with certain things. He won't like, the gun will refuse to shoot certain people. It's pretty funny.
It's pretty cool. So, all right.
You should try that. Have you played that Trover's Saves the Universe? It's the same guy.
No, same guy.
Yeah, it was originally a VR game, but I'm pretty sure it's on Xbox, so I'm pretty sure you can play it just normal now on PlayStation or Xbox. And the only thing I know what you're saying, Darrell, about that, but before that, this is the guy that did that Rick and Morty game, I think, too, in VR.
Right.
And that game was really I'm pretty laissez-faire with language or whatever, but there's a bit early on in that game where you get to this bit and this bird is just like effing you, F you, just over and over, and like it's getting more intense, and I couldn't figure out how to get past it. And the thing is swearing like nothing else, and it was just too much for me. And I'm like, well, fuck you, and turned it off. So but yeah, there's a fine line with that sort of humor, like where it just like it's funny, but I think this one, as you say, is much better from everything I've heard. Like he's getting more
and that's what I like. Whenever, like, if you're going to use foul language, if you're going to use swearing, I like when it's like delivered well and it makes
clever.
It's good for you. Like, so with some of this stuff, there's so much swearing that it's like swearing for the sake of it. That's usually what turns me off. Yeah.
That's the big thing, like with like Grand Theft Auto games and stuff like that. You'll like the dude will get hit and he'll just be like, fuck. And I'm like, what? Why did he have to say? Why couldn't he just be like, son of a gun that hurt? Or something of different nature. But it's like, I got hit by a car. Fuck. Like, really?
You know, like I said, I like when things are done in tasteful and impactful. I like that with all forms of writing. So this one wasn't really for me, but it hooked me because it was really funny. So, all right, I'm going to jump in. We're going to get through some more of these community questions. Stink Palm, our good friend, potential community member of the year 2023. Jared writes in and says, why are Asian boobs so big in video games and anime, but usually not in reality? So we'll start with you, Zach. Why do you think that Asian boobs are portrayed so large?
So actually, this has been a question that's been among like anime fans and like the manga community. So the way that a lot of artists take their inspiration is actually from Western women when they're doing those kind of things. Like a lot of them they're not drawing Japanese women, they're drawing Western women, and they're drawing Western women how they would see them and how they think, and you know how our culture perceives them. So I think the reason is because like over here we're very, that's a good way to put it. We were
voluptuous
for a long time. We were very open and stuff like that stuff wasn't like offensive like it is now. So a lot of people took that and perceived it as, okay, cool. Well, all women over here have big boobs and that's all the men care about. So we'll get them to read our manga and watch our anime by giving these women big boobs because that's what they like. Because in Japan is actually a very respectful culture. They're not crude like that. They most of the time they're like very withdrawn when it comes to stuff like that. So
could have fooled me by their drawings. So, all right. What about you, CJ? Why do you think that they draw the boobies so big?
I thought it was because Asian men tend to have little hands, little ding-dongs, so it makes them, got something to grab onto. But yeah, what I want to see in a game though, because this is where he's alluding to, he loves playing these big titty games. So do you, Darrell. I know you played that Splash one as well. It's kind of disturbing. I turned off, but I know you shoot your load over them and things like that. You enjoyed it. Whatever. I think you did a deep dive on it. It's quite impressive, Most people don't admit to playing those games, but you put it out there.
I went all in.
Friend and Center with Jared as well. But there's a new one too, Jared, because I know you keep abreast of these. Samurai Maiden that only came out the other day, and it's what fascinates me because besides the tits doesn't really concern me. Other than I want to play a game where the back snaps in half because the tits are so big. You're just like it's a battle. Like you just at some point the character just snaps in half. Because that's what would happen, or they fall over, fall forward or something. So they're playing like one of those because they're all like the Neptunia games, so they're all like the ARPGs or whatever, mashing type game or something, and just add a new element that on the left stick you have to sort of go back and forward just to stop yourself snapping in half from your giant tits. That would be awesome.
Death Stranding, like Death Stranding.
Yeah, that's right. Oh, that's it. That's Kojima's new game. That's the game he's working for with Microsoft.
It's called Tits. It's called Tit Standing.
Yeah, Tit Standing. That's right. That's right. Norman, it'll be Norman Reedus. They'll just graft a massive set of bazookas on him, and it'll be wonderful.
Jesus.
Oh my God.
Awesome. I tell you what, if that's the game he's making for Microsoft, you heard it here first. Yeah.
Dude, that's hilarious.
It's true, though.
Phil will let that on his console.
Maybe he will. Oh, maybe Phil likes the big Asian bazookas.
But the funny thing is, so you got those, those real fan servicey games that there is no substance to the game at all. It's just massive tits and, G-strings and stuff. But then you have these, VNs where there is a really decent story. Like, you got your Death Marks and a few of these others, which are not anime based. They're good stories, but then these girls have these... It's so out of place. And I know that, these little Japanese girls, and I that's what I always find, because I'm not deep in it. Maybe you guys are or something, but you have these good stories sometimes, and then it's just so you look at the screen and you just can't take it seriously. But I don't know. I can definitely understand fan service, but these are I know they're doing that as well in these, but there are more depth in some of those games.
There's a lot of games out there that give a lot of fan service, though. Look the Atelier series.
Oh, of course.
There's a lot of big boobies in those games, but there's a lot of substance behind those games.
Well, that new Atelier, is it Atelier? Oh no, Blue Reflection, which is that's the one, Darrell. It's great JRPG.
Just the cover art for that game.
Yeah, it's wonderful. It's like it's like a pedo game or whatever. You probably end up in jail if you play it.
The game's pretty good though.
It is good, but they're a high school swimming team, and most of the dialogue happens in the change rooms where they're naked, hitting each other with towels and stuff. But the second one, I've only played a couple of hours, and you have to get out of the compound, and every time you do it, she has to go under the fence, and there's this massive bend over and fucking for JJ shot every single time, and it takes 10 seconds. You're like, whoa, here we go again. It's wonderful.
We knew who we were marking this game to.
Right.
40 Asian guys.
Yeah, JT loves that though. The thick thighs, he tells me, gets him going.
I wonder if they sell these games in the dispensers where the panties come out of.
I hope so.
So they're actually, it comes with a free pair of panties and the game's wrapped in it.
Yeah. Now, well, what was that game that, Galgun, where they actually sold it with the panties, were the extra.
Catherine too. Catherine came with panties too.
Yeah. And they went on the stores here in Australia and they lasted about 2 hours, and the government has no interest in games. And then someone must have rung up and said, oh, they're selling panties in the game shop. And they were taken off, banned after that. Not the game, just the panties. You could still buy the game, you just couldn't get the panties that came with it. So could you imagine somewhere in EB, somewhere there was just this room full of panties they ripped off?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Could you imagine being the guy that's like, hey guys, we can't sell the panties anymore. Will you get rid of these?
Yeah.
Oh wait, no, Catherine was boxer shorts and a pillow. That's what it was.
Ooh. Hello.
I just picked that game up. Never played Catherine.
Did you play it yet?
No, not yet.
Play it.
I have a lot of games.
CJ, have you played Catherine?
I've never played it. CJ?
Yeah, I played a little bit. It's a hard game, because you got to try and make your way up, don't you? The tower and stuff.
Yeah,
it's not easy.
It's very addicting though. Very addicting.
Good story.
Very good story. Very good.
Hey, Joe, I got a question. How much would you pay for a GameCube copy of Fire Emblem Path of Radiance?
Which copy?
Complete in box, Black Label.
Which copy? Which one that I bought? I have
how much would you pay for one?
I've bought 2 already. So.
No, not how much did you pay. How much would you pay for one?
It depends. Depends on the condition. It depends if I'm in the market for a third one, which I'm not. Because having 2 of them is pretty stupid. But my wife was okay. So story is when I got the first one, I got the second one for an upgrade copy, but I really didn't need to upgrade the copy that much because it was pretty decent. I was just nitpicky about like the box, and she was like, "You're fucking kidding me, right?" She's like, "Does the disc work?" She's like, "But you spent another $85." Because at that point, it wasn't like super ridiculous. Like the first one I got, well, I've had 3 in my lifetime. The one I paid $60 for when I bought it, the one I paid $85 for at a convention, and then the other one I paid $90 for. I believe it was like $90 for the second one. Now I think it goes for about $120.
Oh no! No!
I know at conventions it can go for $120. I know it goes
the last sold copy complete on eBay in good condition sold for $245.
Well, I have the cartridge of the 3DS game that has all 3 games on one cartridge. That thing's worth over $300, just the cartridge.
Oh, I was just curious because while we're speaking, I was like, I don't want to distract myself too much with playing video games. Mm-hmm. So I'm just sitting here scrolling through Marketplace and just finding deals, and some guy's like $40, and I'm just like,
do it.
eBay and prices, and I was like, hey, is this still available? I want this like right now. And he's also got
do it.
He also had Radiant Dawn for $40 as well.
Dude, get them both and package them together for some poor Fire Emblem sap, and they'll pay Fire Emblem
$500. Just here you go. Just
they would money, or give them both for $450. Boom.
All right.
But I also think as Darrell's probably going to tell you this too. As a reseller, those are 2 games you would separate because you can make maximum profit off of them.
That's right.
You're gonna make maximum profit off those 2 games. That series is so good for flipping because the games go up so fast in value. Like Awakening's worth money just because it's not printed anymore. Like all the ones that aren't printed anymore are worth money already. It's crazy. But I know that the special edition of the 3DS one's worth a lot because it's got the DLC on the cartridge. Like you don't have to download it. So it's already there. So like you get all 3 games on one cartridge.
Yeah. See? The more you know. All right, so knock.
Sorry for the side quest.
Who's there?
Superman.
Oh, this one was funny. Superman who?
Not Henry Cavill. What a terrible. Jared, you suck. Jared also writes.
Wait, hold on. Knock.
Who's there?
Black Adam.
Black Adam who?
Not The Rock, because they're getting rid of Black Adam.
Oh my gosh. Isn't that crazy?
I don't know what okay, so now we're going to go tie a tangent because I know Darrell will do this with me.
Dude,
what the fuck are they thinking, Darrell?
I don't know. It's crazy.
What is James Gunn doing? Because you know what's funny? Like I can see Henry Cavill and like The Rock going over to knock on Marvel's door and be like, listen, yo, what superheroes you got for us? Because DC don't want us.
Yeah, Captain Britain. Like freaking Cavill can walk over there and he doesn't even have to change his voice anymore.
Like, let's go.
Actually, Henry Cavill already announced his next project.
Yeah, Warhammer.
Yeah, I saw that.
They're doing a Warhammer 40K live action series. I'm so freaking excited.
Dude.
Do you think it's going to be based off of Warhammer or the Marines?
Yeah. It's going to be based off of... I feel like it's going to be post... It's either going to be post or it's going to be based off of the heresy, the Horse Heresy, the 30K realm. But I don't know yet. It just depends because they said... He posted because they still need to find a writer or producer and all that stuff.
It's gonna be huge. It's gonna be
nice though. It's gonna have instant fans. Those guys are fucking ape shit for that shit.
Oh right. Man!
Tell you what, you're really like the mole people are really like they're going berserk, aren't they? 40K. I tell you what, you're going down deep down.
They're jizzing on all their.
I know there's a lot of you down there or whatever else. You never see the light of day.
There's a shop everywhere. Every time you turn around,
oh my god, the minifigures!
I tell you what,
I'm gonna repaint them all.
That's a place you want to be wearing rubber gloves. Very sticky.
Ooh. Dude, there's like shops, little minifigure shops everywhere. Every time I go into like a new shopping center in a different town, it's like, they're over there. They're over there. These people look at this guy. Look at this camera.
Yeah.
Look at all these minifigures he's got.
He's been lost.
Jeez.
He's lost.
It's like
freaking nerd.
Like he paints minifigures or something. Wow. Do you have Power Ranger ones?
I do actually. Power Rangers came out with they released a Power Rangers tabletop RPG. So I actually have.
Nice.
I'll grab them. Hold on.
Did you paint them yourself?
While you do that, let me read the next write-in because we got a lot of them. So we got a lot of them.
Oh, the next one's even better.
It's terrible. He's an awful human being for doing this, and he cannot be community member of the year for this alone.
He win it just for this response right here. I like this.
Jared writes in and says, "What do Henry Cavill and Resident Darrell have in common? They're both not Superman." Dude. Friggin' douche. You guys don't understand. Like, there's a series of heartbreak that I've experienced over the past 3 months. Okay,
I don't want to hear it.
Kevin Conroy died.
Yep,
the iconic voice of Batman, which we still haven't done our Kevin Conroy episode yet. All right, then you got the Green Ranger. Yep. Right, he killed himself. He's dead. He's gone.
Okay, we could have put it a little bit softer than that.
He died. He died. All right. And
he
then
passed away under unfortunate circunstances.
He did. It was very unfortunate. But you know what? He's dead. And then now Henry Cavill's on Superman. What do I even have?
Unfortunate. He's dead.
What do I even have anymore?
Does anyone ever die under fortunate circumstances? Fortunately, he died.
Sometimes.
I mean,
fortunately,
if you're Jimmy Ryan and you go in your chair jerking off with all your money, or Phil Ryan.
How did Jimmy Ryan come back into this? He's just
Phil Spencer. You're like, hey, Phil Spencer, you just die with your cock in your hand and a fistful of cash.
Phil Spencer's like, hey, you're making me small, Jimmy. You're making me small. All right. So Matt G, our good friend, writes in, says, would you support a Justice League movie where every hero is played by Ben Affleck? Yes.
No,
absolutely.
No, it's okay.
Not.
The Snyderverse is dead.
Yes. Absolutely, I don't need nothing else.
The Snyderverse is already dead, though.
Fired.
You don't understand how much that hurts.
You know how funny it fucking is, Darrell. You from me looking at you, like, oh, we're back, baby, we're back.
We're back. October 29th, we were back.
You are not back now.
Henry Cavill made his announcement. I'm back. It's happening.
They're like, goodbye, Gal Gadot.
And
She's gone.
James Gunn took his gun out and was like,
it's almost like someone from Marvel is destroying the DC from the inside.
That's exactly what's happening.
That's freaking douche. So yesterday on Twitter, it was trending, fire James Gunn with over 48,000 tweets.
Bro, I honestly think someone should Photoshop James Gunn's face over Vince McMahon's body, because it's the same fucking thing. It's like when Vince McMahon came back and just ruined NXT. This is like the James Gunn version of it.
It's freaking douche.
Yeah, what's great about it? The 48,000 tweets that were posted. Those are all 48,000 people that actually paid to go see the Justice League. Not profitable.
It was profitable. Man. You douche.
It wasn't profitable. The only reason they released the Snyderverse was to actually have some redeeming quality. Yeah, recoup a little bit. And they did.
Don't make me bring out my charts.
And what gets it even better is they did the phone. Is they released it.
You shitting his shit. You shitting his Cheerios, and now he's gonna go cry into his phone and make him.
The best part is they released the Snyder Cut on HBO Max.
See that? Fire James Gunn. Fire James Gunn.
I mean, you can fire James Gunn all you want. It's already happened. The actions
fired everyone. They're all going to move on now.
For the record, the first 7 DC movies made more than the first 7 Marvel movies. And I've got it. Screen cap.
Hey, you want to know? It'd be great.
What were the first 7 Marvel movies? Are they all like half Spider-Man?
Iron Man.
That movie's shit.
We're talking about the MCU movies, all right? Man of Steel made more money. Made $100 million more.
Okay, what are we talking about?
The Hulk made $264 million. BVS, $872 million. Iron Man 2 made $623 million. Suicide Squad, not even the good movie, $746 million. Thor made $449 million. Wonder Woman made $822 million. I mean, that's close, right? Captain America made $370 million. The Justice League movie that you said wasn't profitable made $657 million. As a matter of fact,
worldwide or just domestic? Let's.
Okay. Well. Here,
this is just the box office comparison. Okay.
If you want to give a box office comparison between comparable movies, so like Solo.
Okay. So Avengers made $1.5 billion.
1.5 billion to your 640. Yeah, the first Avengers movie.
Aquaman made $1.14 billion. That's a standalone hero.
Yes, because that movie was actually good.
It's not even
because that movie was actually good.
These are better.
Because Amber Heard was in it, which we should segue to our next movie.
Hey, by the way, Matt G said he played some really crappy games this year. He played Anal Cruises. I don't even know what that is, and Rainbow Six Extraction. He says
Anal cruxes, is that what he said?
Anal crutches. Anal crutches. I don't know.
Oh wait, did we all go around the table and say what the worst game we played this year it was?
We did that last week, but yeah.
Oh man, I remembered an even worse game I played.
Do it. What you got?
The fuck is that? Siberia? You guys ever play that fucking?
Isn't it like a point and click adventure?
It was garbage. I tried to play it on PS3 because I heard it had like an easy trophy list, and I was like, I can't even make myself play this.
Again, like booty. I own it on PS4. I have a physical copy of it.
They made a physical copy of that game?
Yeah, I got it too. I picked it up at flea market for like $5 back when $5 was a good deal.
$5 was $5.
All right, Jared writes in with another one. He says he played a lot of plat trash this year. Got the platinum in Lady in a Leotard with a Gun. So that game is definitely one of the worst games he played this year. Did you guys play this one? I know CJ's played Lady with a Leotard. That's terrible.
I just started delving into the ratness.
It's very short.
I started with something simple.
It is short. It's short, but it's terrible.
I tell you what, speaking of Ratatrasher, did you see that one? I saw it only because someone posted it today. It's in the sale at the moment. It's called Save Room. It's published by Ratalaika. It came out a week or two ago, but it's in the current sale on PSN. And it's it means nothing to me, but it's a Resident Evil 4 like puzzle game where you like your inventory. It's all about
I did see that
your
today.
inventory, and like I know you have wet dreams about that game. So I thought, I don't know, it might be something for you. I don't know, because apparently that's the big thing is to play with your inventory or something in that game. So
exactly.
this game is just that.
Jesus.
So it's strange. You should look it up.
It's called Save Room.
Yeah, I think it's Save Room. Yeah,
I'm putting it in right now.
They actually there was one that kind of interested me that they released just recently. It was like Headbangers in Holiday Hell.
Yeah,
looked really.
You probably can't play it till next year because it probably doesn't meet your standards of the event or whatever you're doing. But
yeah, yeah.
You only have like 9 days left.
Oh, I can't wait. I'm playing My Name is Mayo 3. It's the first game I'm playing.
I'm gonna platinum it before you.
You guys should race. You guys should race on Twitch. January 1st. The My Name is Mayo race. Corey and I raced. I beat him by 26 minutes.
Dang, he's freaking Guinness World Record holder. He
got stuck in the woods. Well, first he didn't realize that the game transitioned to a second part, and he was like, "What the fuck am I supposed to do?" And he couldn't figure it out. And I wouldn't tell him, and I just kept going. I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about. I'm still in the car.
I do that to my wife. Don't tell her. I just keep going.
Oh, Jesus God.
All right, Jared came back with another one, said it's over. Not 2022, but a dispute over poo. This is a poem, by the way. Amber settled because of legal costs. That is what she said. Not because of something that came from her rear end. She's paying $1 million. But how can that be? Oh, please. Johnny was lying about feces. Lying about your wife is very rude. We all know it was not Amber who pooed. Maybe that booty didn't make that duty. Hashtag, what if the turd was not from Herd?
Thank you, Dr. Deuce, for all that you do for everyone on this planet.
He needs a book. He needs to put it all together.
I think he needs to publish this and like really sell this.
We'll
because people fucking buy this shit.
We'll get Patrick to push it on Legacy.
Oh my God, Legacy Comics in collaboration with Loot Bros podcast presents
the Amber Turd Chronicles.
Hashtag the herd didn't come from turd. The turd didn't come from Herd collection.
All right, so
look at this prick. In the meantime, while you've just been fucking on about Marvel and crap like this EDJ Diego has dropped +2 Sniper Elite 3.
You called it.
What a turd. What an absolute.
Wait, actually,
what a
you
turd.
didn't call it. You said it was going to be +3, not +2.
Well, the show's not over. We're not done yet.
Give me another hour. Stupid on that.
Yeah.
That Platinum's stupid on that.
Someone with admin rights should just delete that and do the world a favor.
I can do it.
I can do that
for the right price. I can make
there's a good chance JT will forget to update it anyway.
No, God dog, if we can't be in the menu if something posted, just Jay-Z will get mad. How can you comment on something and you didn't update?
Where's your picture?
I'm the commissioner. I rule you. All right, I'm styling you, bro. Right, and he says, "When will you play Sunset Overdrive?" I've seen you've played 80s Overdrive as of recent. So I wasn't sure if you forgot which Overdrive game I suggested.
A longbow, isn't it? Who's that? Me.
I guess that's you.
Yeah, I played. I didn't know about this 80s Overdrive. Yeah, it's like one of those old arcade things. There was one on PlayStation. I forget. I'm a bit of the way through it earlier this year. It's cool for a few bucks. Like good soundtrack as well. But that that's an older game. But that Sunset Overdrive, that's a completely different game, isn't it? That's the
Xbox one. Yeah.
Yeah, the monkey around game, like a swinging from the buildings and shit, isn't it? Am I thinking of the right one? Yeah, I tried a bit of that. It wasn't for me. Yeah, it's a good game. I know. Here. Yeah,
I've tried that game twice now. I'm fairly far into it. For whatever reason, Sunset Overdrive just didn't click with me, and it should. I mean, it's about friggin' energy drinks that turn you into zombies. It's a third-person shooter made by Insomniac. Like, this should be my game, but for whatever reason, I haven't been in the right time or place. I just actually picked up another copy of it physical. And I'm going to give it a go. I will. I don't know when, but I haven't given up on Sunset Overdrive yet.
It's probably one of those because it's Insomniac, wasn't it? It's the problem is that you played Spider-Man. Well, I played them, more recently, and so they're the evolution of that what they were going for. It's very good. So going back, I'm not a retro. I don't have a lot of love for retro. In case you didn't know, Darrell. So yeah, it's probably unlikely I'd go back when there's a better. When I played those ones.
It's new for me. Over the years, I was never a retro guy. Like even when we started the podcast, I wasn't a retro guy. It really hasn't been until the last couple of years that I started to venture backwards. And a lot of, like I said before, was always the controller. The new controller and the new machine plays games better. So I never wanted to go back. With the exception of Resident Evil 2, it was a game I always play every year. And because I like the Vita so much, I played it on the Vita for the past, 5, 6, 7 years, maybe longer. Getting close to 10 years now, actually. So, I don't know. For me, retro that's a new thing for me to go backwards. And now there's something's clicked where it's like, it's not so bad. I can pull up my PSP and I can play an old game. I can pull out the PS2, the GameCube, whatever. I'm playing PS2 games right now, so.
Just see we went down that retro line because I made a note to mention this because I know there's a few of you tragics that do that. And I noticed no one in the Discord had mentioned it. So maybe it went under the radar, but it came out on Xbox and PlayStation a month or two ago. And I got it, and I'm not a retro gamer, but it's sort of a documentary, and then the games are in there as well. It's this Atari 50th collection. I think it's called 50th Collection or whatever else, and it's really good. Like, if you're interested in that stuff, that retro stuff, I know, like, you have your console, so maybe this is not one of them or something. But it's if you are interested in that, it's literally like there's documentary, like it's interviews with the game makers, the movers and shakers in that. And then if you want, you can play the game, but afterwards. But it's really, for someone that doesn't know a lot about that stuff, it's very educational.
Atari 50?
Yeah, I know it's a little pricey,
it's amazing,
perhaps, but really good. Yeah,
amazing.
Excellent.
Yeah, I listened to an interview with one of the publisher representatives or whatever. I don't even remember what his position was about that. And I haven't played it yet, but I hear it's supposed to have a lot of TLC, a lot of love into it.
It's good. I would because I've sort of, there's a ton of videos, hours and hours, and I've been going through it a little bit. And because I don't know anything about that time, I didn't play them or whatever else. So, from an educational point of view, it's fascinating. And I would really like something like, I know they've got to put a game in there, otherwise people are like, oh, there's no fucking game in the game or something. But I would love those type of, things put out, even if they were $20 or whatever, with no game at all. And just like the videos, the fly on the wall stories of what it was like making these games and stuff like that, just for each of these retro systems. Not because I want to go and play them, but it would be nice to learn about them that way. I'm much more, watch an hour or 2 hour documentary video on them. On the console or something. Play them.
That documentary that came out for the Xbox not too long ago, that 6-part documentary, that was really good. Really good. I would love more stuff like that to exist.
There's a lot of stuff like that exists, though. Go watch like video game years on YouTube.
Yeah. But I think like in that package of putting it, I'm being first world problem, but putting it into like the system so I can just play it there and then if I want to try the little game they're talking about, I can. But it's just sort of that right thing.
That's You know how many hoops and like ladders?
Oh, I know. It's impossible.
It's fucking
one day. One day, if you just ask Jimmy Ryan nicely, he'll do it. I'm telling you guys, he'll do it.
He doesn't know what he's doing now, so he might as well add that to them.
They don't call him the franchise for nothing.
Well, it was like, what was that documentary on Netflix where the guys were talking about Pac-Man and Miss Pac-Man and how like they basically just stole the code and they're like, we charged 25 cents less or whatever to play this one, and they're like, oh yeah, and then we made so much fucking money that we just started our own game company just off of one arcade cabinet.
Let's do that.
Insane.
It's crazy, yeah. But sorry, detracted.
No, you're good. All right. So, Stylon writes in and says, I think I sped run, or is it I spied run? I'm not really sure. Spelled wrong. Has multiplayer. Will we ever get a Loot Bros Sausage Fest game night?
Sorry.
I mean, what do you guys want to play together? Like,
Sausage Run is the game. Has multiplayer.
Sausage Run. Yeah.
Do we want to do a Loot Bros Sausage Fest game night?
I think that's only
is
local,
that Run Sausage Run?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's only local co-op, that game.
I've seen that game. It's really, I don't know. It's something. It was a mobile game before it was before it was released on console. My wife played it. You run around as a sausage and try not to get cut by knives and stuff like it. It's like it's kind of like a side scrolling platformer.
Yeah, it's good for what it is. It works.
I'm all about it. Let's do it.
Yeah,
let's set it up. Let's go.
It's funny though you mentioned that because we played, back in the day, Darrell. We played a bit of Resident Evil something. I don't know what it was.
Resistance, I believe.
Yeah, and that was quite fun. And it's just, like, it's a timing thing, I know. It's a nightmare. But you guys did have stuff like that going, I thought, where you were occasionally playing, because you did with MC, I know the Call of Duty you were saying and stuff. So,
yeah, we've done that in the past, and it's just been, over the years, scheduling has been hard to manage.
It's impossible. Yeah.
I would love to do, I always wanted to have like the monthly game night where once a month we got a bunch of people together in a Discord call and we played games, even if you don't play the same game. I mean, even Gaz reached out the other day and said, hey, even if we're not playing the same game, let's just get in a call together and hang out, because nowadays digitally we can all hang out. The problem is this: if I'm the one that's supposed to organize it, it's never going to happen.
Well, I know that they threw together that PlayStation chat that like no one ever uses, but it's there.
A bunch of people have actually left it. I have it on my phone and I check it occasionally to see if anyone said anything.
No, but like it's like it like they let it like as a live, like you could group. So like if you're playing on PlayStation, you could just jump in that group and just start talking with anybody that's on. But like no one really goes in there anymore.
It's a fun. It's
everybody has different schedules.
I think you're in there, CJ.
Busy.
Yeah, probably. I just haven't. It's a funny thing though, because like
you don't really talk to people when you game.
No, I don't. No, that's where I was going to go.
I tried to talk to you, and you're just like, no, fuck off.
No,
Joe.
I'll see CJ get on the Xbox because I have CJ saved as a favorite.
It's not.
So it'll notify me every time CJ gets on, and I'm like, all right, you know what? Maybe I'll play a game with CJ, and then CJ's playing some random ass shit that I've never heard of in my life because he loves indie games.
No, well, that's true. But no, it's because when I was playing a lot, like before, like 5 years ago, I played with this guy from England and this guy from America. It was great. But every time he'd come on, the party request would be there straight away. And because of the way the timings worked, it was always around 9 o'clock at night, which was fine. It was quite good for me. But we'd play till like 2 a.m. my time. It's fine as well. But every single time you come on, and it was good. But it's like there's so much talking. And because I like narrative games, you couldn't follow the story. You had no idea what was going on. And it was like I sort of needed to break away because they were playing all the time, every night at that time. And it's like, yeah, and I think I've gone full circle. And, we all work hard or whatever else. And sometimes you just like to chill out. And there's a fine line, like Darrell, like both of you know, because you do a podcast. So you know that it's more than just talking. Like you have to, you're entertaining people like you as well, naturally as it comes. And there's a bit of that element in the chat, I find, on PlayStation. There are some people that are like, it's just like trying to make it fun for everyone, which is exhausting as well. And I'll never forget, some guy jumped into the chat. When I was on Xbox, and he's like, wow, you sound like nothing like you are on the show. And it's like, I'm not here to fucking entertain you. I'm playing a game or whatever else, And he goes, oh, you're normally funny. And I'm like, well, you're not funny at all. Like, it's your turn to tell a joke or something. Like, but, it's just like, it's like, like you just want to play sometimes. You don't want the distraction. Right. And if it is a narrative game, I don't know how people play narrative games in chat. And I know they do it. Like, Stylen likes being in chat.
I can't.
But yeah,
I can't. I have to play like a Muso or something stupid when I'm talking.
Yeah, it's distracting.
Or like Persona, I have to like tell Corey to shut the fuck up. I'm like, there's a cutscene, shut up.
Yeah,
or I'll just mute him.
Yeah, that's why. So when we first started, I was like, I'll just mindlessly play some High on Life while we're podcasting, and I'm like, I actually want to hear what he's saying. So I immediately just turned my Xbox off, and I was like, you know what? I was just like, I'll just stay away from the console while we're podcasting, because I actually want to, like, I really enjoy having CJ on, and Joe's back, and I enjoy talking to everybody. I'm just like, I'm not here to entertain myself. I'm here to help entertain everybody else.
Yeah, it's a fine line. Like, I used to play a lot of racing games too, and with those guys, and racing games are perfect for chatting because you don't want to listen to it anyway, but I've really cut back on that side of gaming, that style of game now. And it's just, I mean, if you play like a lot of multiplayer shooters, you play a lot of racing games, anything where this dialogue doesn't matter at all, then it's great, I think. But yeah, I don't know. Like, I needed a break from it, definitely. But then as Joe said, I tend to avoid. Like, I actually, have messages. I don't know if you guys do too, but I have messages turned off when I play, so I don't see them until afterwards. And Geezer,
right, same.
He loves to send abusive messages to me. That's the other reason I turn them off. It's very rude. He's very mean, that guy, or whatever else about my gaming habits and collection, or whatever. So. But yeah, you get all the messages after.
If you guys read the messages Jared sends me, you're like, are y'all really even friends? Like,
he kept on crapping on about my selections or whatever else, and so I left it a couple of hours, because he plays very late at night, I think, over there, and so I sent him a message that slightly inappropriate or whatever else, and I think his wife might have seen it, because he's like, dude, that was just the wrong message to send at this time. You should stop telling me.
Big screen TV and says you're a fucktard.
That's right. No, it was something to the effect of it's something about wank of a collection or something else, and I said, well, with 3 kids running around, that's the most action you'd get now. Wanking or something, and something like this, where his wife had cut him off, and I think, so he said it's hilarious, but also highly inappropriate. What about these other fuck ton of messages you sent me?
Turn your damn chat off on your TV.
That's right. You should.
So that's a funny story at work too. So, this girl was fighting with her boyfriend at work, right? And she didn't realize that she synced. She was using her cast to cast whatever she was watching to the TV at the house, and didn't realize it. And her boyfriend's texting her all this shit. And we're seeing it all pop up in huge text font on the screen. So it says something like, don't bother coming home, whatever. And I was like, I'm reading all this on the I'm like, can you please stop casting your life to all the people that live in this house?
That's awesome.
Well, the other thing that turns me off too in that PlayStation, I don't know, maybe Xbox does it, and maybe they've always done it and never said, but it's really open now on that PlayStation when you go in the chat that it can be recorded, or someone else can record it and then report you. And I get enough crap of people, reporting games that I bullshitted on or something, just not true. Well, so far nothing stuck, but there's enough people that are just out there to maliciously send you things anyway. So I was like, well, that's another element you don't, because the problem is I have an open friends list, so I have hundreds of fuckers I don't know, and if you're in a party, anyone can join, and then you don't sometimes realize they're there if you didn't see them come in, and there's it's a whole a wormhole. But yeah, I think that recording, I understand why they do it, but I think it's a little bit, you don't. I'd rather talk on something else than on the console, I think now.
Right. I'm gonna chime in on that too, because for me, my gaming pockets are so freaking weird and so infrequent. Sometimes it's really early in the morning, sometimes it's really late at night, sometimes it's during the day when I've got a couple, I may want to do my lunch break or something, and so I can't necessarily guarantee any sort of gaming schedule. I just can't do it. So it's really very difficult for me to go, hey, let's do a monthly game night on this day every single month, because that day might not exist for me. I might be completely tied down doing something different. It's hard enough to do the podcast, and that's about as consistent as I can afford. So game nights just kind of, for me, had to go to the wayside. Now, don't get me wrong. I would love to have a group of you guys that we just did something every so often, or even if we just jumped into a Discord call while we played other games. But I second everything you guys all said here. It's just it's not where we're at right now. So I wish it was. I really do. But, maybe one day my reselling career will take off, and then we'll all be just, podcasters.
Darrell's going to employ all of us.
That's the goal.
You're gonna CJ's going to run the reselling storefront in Australia.
That's right.
Joe's going to run some small rinky-dink store above a coffee bar in New Jersey.
That's
because
right.
there's no other real estate there.
That's right.
Did you know what else?
Darrell's going to own a whole hall section of the flea market.
Dude, yes.
But you laugh about that, but it's funny. Like the last 2 weeks or 3 weeks, like I finished work 2 weeks ago, but I haven't stopped working, because like the thing is when you're younger, like some of these guys in that group, and I know it's not Rick or Gaz, but some of those others, they're younger and maybe they don't have a partner or they don't have a house and they don't have other things. And just like the amount of shit, and you guys know, the amount of shit you have to do around the place just sucks up the time. And it's not like when I play, like people go, you in 3,000 trophies. Those games take like 30 seconds each. So it's not a huge time investment. Yeah. But like a long session for me is 2 hours. If I play any longer than 2 hours, it has to be at 10 o'clock at night because there's no way I can sit down for 3 or 4 hours in the middle of the day or the afternoon. And a lot of these guys, they just have these great, I remember what it was like. They have these great chunks of time. They can play for 6 or 8 hours, which is awesome, but it's not realistic, unfortunately, as you get older, I think. It will. I'm hoping it will be, Darrell, when we get even older. Because there'll be nothing to do. We won't be able to do anything. That's what I'm hoping. Except play the games. But I think we're in that really sweet point of our life where you just, every time you have is like, it's really well planned out. Like if you're going to game, it's like, okay, well, I've already planned this like 4 days ahead that I'm going to, play in this time or something. And then I just hope nothing comes up in that time. So
that's right. So sad that at our age, like adulting, you have to be like, on the 13th of this month, I have 4 hours scheduled to play Final Fantasy 15. It's scheduled on my calendar.
Yeah.
And my wife looks at me like, you can't even schedule to go out to get dinner, but you're scheduling your game sessions.
Dude, my wife says that stuff to me all the time. You're so intentional with your podcast. You're so intentional with your gaming. But you're not intentional with me. I'm like, baby, I'm with you every day.
You don't miss the damn podcast.
I got that the other day. It was like Thursday. I was like, okay, yeah, it's every Thursday at 8 p.m. my time. It's not changing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't mean it to make an excuse, but I think when you're at this stage in your life, gaming really is like you talk about, escapism, but it really is because your life is just going so full on with all other things that it's a time for you to totally tune out. Whereas I think other people, and I'm envious, so I'm not having a go at all. I'm jealous, but other people that have this, and you're usually younger because they're not at that point yet. They have this time where they're doing it every day. So, they're happy to chat. They're looking for distractions. They're filling the time. Whereas for us, like, we're mentally fucked usually when we turn.
I mean, fuck. Like, I envy your son, Darrell.
Yeah.
I envy your son.
Yeah.
Like, trophies exist in his prime.
Yes.
And he don't
if trophies existed in my prime, fuck, I'd already have a level 99, level 999 account with real games.
Yeah.
Because I played like that when I was his age.
Yeah.
So if I did all that till now, like... Fuck, imagine if I was a kid when PS3 came out till now and I was my age now.
Yeah.
Imagine if I had access to the internet when I was first growing up playing Pokemon and be like, I can create a living dex. That's a thing.
Yeah.
Like, and even hearing about it, like all that kind of stuff, like, how many hours like you would have sunk into it. I'm just like, I when I was that young, I didn't know anything about it. Any like that hunting for stuff and doing all that. And it was beat the game, move on to the next one. Beat the game, move on to the next one. And I just beating games left and right.
You're beating something.
But it's like what you said last week.
That wasn't until I was about 12. All right.
It's like what you said last week, Joe, about playing on easy or whatever. And I started that Evil West last night. And it's like, I love games that do that. They have the 3 difficulties and it puts you on normal. It goes, this is the level you should play at if you want to experience what the devs have done. And then you're like, yeah, okay, sure. And then you look, then they've got the story mode, and it's like, this mode is really easy and requires no effort at all. You're a special person. You're like, well, fuck you. I'm going to play on this mode. But it's just like, but it's because like you've had a whole day of people throwing shit at you. I don't need this game to throw shit at me too. And ironically, good game, but it does I went on to the game is hard even on easy difficulty, and I'm like, God, I'm getting old and bad at games. And I went and looked at the trophy guide. Not that I'm going to plat it because it has collectibles. It's a waste of time. But the first line in the Power Picks guide is make sure you play on story because this game is quite difficult on story mode. So I was like, oh, that's good. But it's good to know. But that's the problem. Like the story modes are it's like that God of War. There's some bullshit moments in that game too, even on easy. And you're like, well, they're getting us.
There's too much bullshit in that game. Like that's my problem with God of War. I think the game's gorgeous and I think it plays well, but there's just too much shit that I don't want to do. I just want to fuck shit up.
Yeah.
Like nonstop. I don't want to do puzzles. I'm tired of puzzles in God of War. I'm tired of it.
What they need
Uncharted.
Why you play
I just want to shoot shit in Uncharted. I don't want puzzles in Uncharted anymore either.
Right. I'm still waiting for my discovery mode in Elden Ring. I don't want to fight anyone. I just want to have a look. Everyone say how amazing the game is. I just want to walk around and see everything. Don't come too close to me, monster. I just want to check you out, see what you're doing.
Photo mode.
Yeah, it's like Assassin's Creed,
CJ wants trophies for photo mode.
Yeah.
CJ wants Elden Ring Pokemon Snap Edition.
I heard it was Matt. It's like, some games need difficulty modes. He was referring to Elden Ring. He's such a skilled gamer. He didn't want to mention it, but everyone knew that's what he was talking about because he's highly skilled. And I was like, I want the discovery mode like Assassin's Creed, so I can just like go around and have a look in there and not get my head chopped off and be wonderful.
Yeah. I can appreciate that because there's a lot of really beautiful games out there that the devs have spent years and years and years putting their effort into, and the artists have put their effort into it. Like Valhalla is a beautiful game. That game is a pain in the ass. I don't care.
Yeah.
Not just because it's long. It's just like even on easy, some of the fights
fights are fucking. But that's the janky ass of fucking Assassin's Creed. Like I can't stand that fucking franchise. I'm the first. I don't like it. We all know. You've heard me complain. It's Feather Collector edition number 10 or 11 or 12. Like it's the same fucking game wrapped in a different outfit. It really is. And I played Origins and I finally had one that clicked with me and I was like, all right, this isn't so fucking bad. I actually want to play this. Like I like the story, and it just kept going. And it kept going.
Yeah, but the problem with Valhalla...
And it was just too long. Well, they don't respect my time.
That's the problem with Valhalla. I think it's one of the best games you can play at the moment if you have 200 or 150 hours to play the whole thing, because it's a single-player MMO and the leveling matters. So you don't need to grind anywhere, but you have to follow the way it's been structured, that game. Otherwise, you get your head chopped off. But you need to put in the time to be able to get to certain areas to be leveled up enough. So, it's a catch-22. But, yeah, I mean... It's you play JRPGs. It's the same thing.
Oh my god! It's like I start playing those on easy.
Yeah,
just because I can't deal with all the bullshit of I got here, but or it's what was it? It was I think it was Octopath Traveler. I got so far in that game, but I didn't make enough money to buy good enough equipment.
Yeah,
so I got fucking literally stuck. I got walled because I just couldn't move. I couldn't make any progression in the game.
It's funny though, because I've been playing some Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition on the Switch again, and it's
games are so good.
Yeah, I started on normal too, and then I was like, because I'm not leveling, I'm just speed running it basically, and I was like, I'm going to drop down to easy because some of these boss fights, and it's like you're usually maybe a level or two below where you need to be, so which you really notice in those fights. So you got to do a little bit of grinding, 10 minutes. Or something.
I mean, they really put walls up every so often. Every area puts another wall up where you have to go grind 5 or 6 levels. It gets really bad in Xenoblade Chronicles 2. I'm telling you now.
Yeah, well, all those games weren't supposed to be a speed run. That's what it is.
No, I mean they don't respect your time. Those games,
no, which is cool. But I
started playing Tactics Ogre.
Oh
Tactics Ogre Reborn.
Yeah.
That game does not respect my life, and it level caps. So it's this chapter you can only grind up to this level, and it stops you. And it's no, you can't break the game, Joe. You can't just level your guys up to 20 more levels. Fuck it. I don't want to play it the right way. Nope. You're capped at this level and you can't go any higher. Yeah. I'm like, oh, fuck me. But to really harken back to what you said about easy games and stuff, did you guys see all that hubbubaloo about Returnal getting easy mode last year? When they patched an easy mode into Returnal and everyone went ape shit. How dare they patch an easy mode into Returnal? It ruins the spirit of the game. Sorry, I suck at Returnal, and I want to actually
I'm
beat
terrible
it.
at it.
I want to beat it, so now I can beat it because there's an easy mode.
It's a really tough line that in single player games, because you hear a lot of reviewers and professionals say I don't care if there's a story mode in a single player game because ultimately however you play it is your choice. But it becomes more contentious when it's a multiplayer game or an online game because you need some sort of skill differential. You need difficult content and the balance, that's why, was going that track with Final Fantasy 14. But when you get to that third expansion, unless you're really on top of the game, you can't. It's just too difficult. But because you're in a group of 8, these 7 other people are probably good enough to carry you. And I know that happens in Destiny, and I know that happens in, these online games. And so you can get through the end game content in these big games, even if you aren't skilled enough. But you can't do that on a single player game because I know Elden Ring maybe can call people, but there's that definite skill cap that just means you will never see the end of the game. And that's the That's the real crux of like, well, like the Callisto Protocol's perfect example. You know, like how far can you bash your head? And like that easy mode, okay, so you can get there. But if they only had the normal and the hard, you'd be fucked. Like you just wouldn't see the end of the game unless you had the right sort of skill set. And I know you can spend time and learn it all and stuff, but I think it's a really tough. I don't see any problem with putting that mode in there when there's no one that can help carry you through. You don't have to use it if you don't want to.
You got guys like me. If you don't put it in the easy mode, I can't play your game.
That's right, and you miss out on everything. You know.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So, all right. Next up, Stalin writes in and he says, worst game of the year that he played was easily the Master Chief Collection. Franchise is the most over.
Sorry.
His most overrated dog crap ever. Chief and Cortana are soulless trash leads. And you know a game is bad when Allie from I don't even know what that is, Borizum, is a more interesting character. Yeah.
I'm going to make you hate your life next year. I swear to God.
It's okay. When it's your only game, I mean, you can't. It
was great first time. It was great first time.
You got to remember, though, Starling is not happy unless he's miserable. So, you know, that explains a lot about how he games. Unless he's pissed off, he's not happy.
That's why he plays on Xbox, right? It makes sense.
Right, yeah.
If you want to be miserable, just stay where there's no games.
He loves being miserable, you know. It's awesome.
There you go. And now misery loves company, because what he's doing is he's like, I'm going to play a franchise until I hate it. Make it worse for myself.
Do you know those gamers though? Like you played something and they're ranting about it. This game is shit. It sucks. Fuck all the crap. And you play it and you're like, oh, I think it's okay, but you don't want to say anything because they're like, oh, it's fucked. And you're like, oh, okay, well, I must have no idea then, because they're so passionate about it. And then you're like,
that's me with everything. Bad. I like everyone's like, oh my God, this game freaking sucks, and I go play it. I'm like, hey, I'm having a good time over here.
That's right. And you can't say anything because they go, oh,
like when you went and saw Morbius.
Dude, that was the biggest point of contention with me and Frosty on the show, because it used to infuriate him that I would enjoy games. I'm like, I mean, what? Like, sure, it's not perfect. It's not my favorite game ever, but like, I'm having a good time.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sorry, it's not Street Fighter 5.
All right. That's exactly right. You never care. You're going to give your thing drift.
And you just got stick drift.
So, all right. Stink Palm writes in again and says, in honor of a great game I recently platinumed, Ghost of Tsushima, I decided to write a haiku.
Oh, boy.
Foul smell in the air. Brown stain on the bed right there. Turd was from the dog.
That should be in the DLC. That's wonderful.
Oh my God, how does he do this?
He wrote a haiku.
Like,
it was an actual haiku.
An actual haiku.
I counted the syllables.
And it was great.
You know what? You've just totally redeemed yourself from all that Henry Cavill smearing that you did earlier.
No, you haven't.
I think I might just have to override and make him the community member of the year.
Nope.
I mean, it's still technically 2022.
I know.
Actually, you don't get a say because you didn't even volunteer somebody for it, and you haven't been on the show.
He could have been your submission, Joe.
I could have been my submission, and then he would have got 2 submissions, right?
But you slacked.
No, I didn't. I didn't submit him because I thought it would be unfair because Jared and I talk almost every day.
Well, so and Rick, I know has a better relationship with other people, so I was like, I'm gonna hold off, and I appreciate all the stuff JT's done for us this year.
So I didn't submit Jared because I thought it'd be unfair because everybody knows I talk to the guy every freaking day almost. So even if he was a turd sandwich for hating on the Snyder Cut and Henry Cavill.
He never said the Snyder Cut was bad.
Snyder Cut is amazing.
He said the Snyderverse is dead.
It's not dead. It's coming back. I'm telling you.
It's dead.
So all right. Red Beer Rick writes in. He says, asked this question on Trophy Horse. That show sucks. A few weeks ago and decided not to record. And then they didn't even revisit it the next few weeks. Those cheeky little effers. See, I told you those guys are booty.
Especially
hey Rick, we'd love to have you. We'd love to have you back on Rubros.
That's right. If you could go back in time for a 24-hour period just to safely observe, when and where would you go? No interference. You're just observing. So you're like a time traveling voyeur. CJ, we'll start with you.
What, like something that you did in your life, or just an event? in the world.
24-hour period. Anything you want to go back and just watch awkwardly, potentially with no pants.
Like, so you may not have even been there, is what you're saying, but you could be.
Correct. Yes.
You know what?
Go back and witness the assassination of everyone.
Yeah. This is probably divisive because I'm not American, and I found it fascinating being on this side of. I find the people fascinating, to be honest. Amazing they're still there. The country still survives. But anyway, although you had President Zelensky there the other day, so maybe not for much longer. But anyway, that was an interesting point too. Biden here, a wonderfully interesting gentleman. I would like to have been there as a fly on the wall for that insurrection. I thought that was quite amazing, the White House storming. I mean, it must have been amazing for you guys living in that country, but for someone like, over here, just to see that happen, I think, and I don't have a problem either way. Like, it's not for me to say, but I just thought something like that, if anything, and you've got to tread very carefully here. I think people taking power is not a dreadful thing. You need to be very careful here, I think. But it was interesting to see it happen in a Western country, because you see that happen, in less developed countries, but it has not happened in a Western country for some time. So it was interesting to see. So I wouldn't mind being there. It must have been amazing to be on the ground around there when that was going down.
I actually have friends that were there.
Yeah.
And they were like, dude, it was like not even a big deal. Like, they said that essentially the doors were just open. Everybody walked in single file.
Yeah.
And then once they got in, then some people started vandalizing things, and people started standing on Pelosi's desk and taking. Someone took her computer.
It's so funny because that massive thing happened there, and then I think Fiji, a few months ago, they did the same thing. The president, I'm sure it was Fiji, was exiled or whatever else. And the people just stormed the house. Like, they didn't damage anything, but they were in the pool. They were doing all the similar things. And that was totally fine. Yay, the people. And again, I'm not necessarily endorsing what happened, but it's just interesting. That was so divisive, that act. So, yeah.
It's wild, because if I would dare say that Woodstock 99 was way more destructive than the storming of the White House, because they burnt that effing place to the ground. So
just not something you would have expected to see, or I would have.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. I mean, we were sitting back going, "What are these freaking crazy people doing? People are taking selfies everywhere. Like, what are you doing? Like, And then it's so funny because now it's referred to as like this insurrection. You were storming the Capitol. I'm like, these fools were taking selfies and making dumb faces on TikTok. I mean, if that's an insurrection in our day and age, I mean, we're going to die. We're all going to die.
Sorry for the political discharge, but I thought
no.
It's an interesting question. Cool. It makes you think. Yeah.
So
well done, Rick. Interesting question. But what about you guys?
Zach, what about you?
Me personally, so I am fascinated by some older American history. I would love to have been a fly on the wall for the storming of the beaches in Normandy on D-Day. I just to kind of hear what was going through the minds of some of the soldiers on each side, because at the end of the day, and a lot of people look at it like, oh, this country was the bad country, they're the evil country. Those guys were just doing what they were told.
Yep.
We in today's society, our military, we're just doing what we're told. And just to hear like what would have went through the minds of, like I said, soldiers on both fronts. And to hear what everyone has to say, and I think a lot of people would garner a better appreciation for everyone in every type of military service, just to kind of see what actually goes on.
And that's coming from a veteran. So
yeah, like, because I appreciate the people that came before me, and that there are certain people that, like, I'll never know what they've went through, and certain people will never know what I've went through. But at the same time, like I said, I just to hear, like, because back in those days, those guys, like, when everyone talks about toxic masculinity and stuff like that, those guys were some of the hardest men I have ever heard stories of in my life. Like there's one I share every year, and it was a helicopter pilot that his job wasn't to evac. He wasn't a med chopper, but he sat in heavy machine gun fire until he rescued everyone that was there and got everyone out. He got shot 8 times and still did 4 trips flying a helicopter. Like, those guys had like the most love for their country and the people around them. I wish that we could all just get along and get back to that.
Nice. We're getting heavy political tonight,
Sorry.
boys.
Well, it's not really political.
All right,
it's
Joe.
more.
What political event are you going to witness?
I got nothing. I can't top either of those two fucking answers.
There's nothing in history that you'd like to go back and just sit there like and listen to, like maybe like the death of Attila the Hun, for example.
What's like 48 hours? You're saying, and I could do any.
You have 24 hours.
You're just watching.
Oh, I'd fucking go see the Beatles.
Ooh,
like 100%. I would go see the Beatles. Like I would watch them in person, and or I would go to like Woodstock, like the original Woodstock, and just be able to go to the whole day and just experience all that amazing music in one day, or even Live Aid. Go to Live Aid and watch Queen perform in front of all those fucking people, and just to be there to experience that event. But like, that's kind of my vibe. But like, I mean, I honestly think the Beatles are one of the greatest bands ever, and to just be able to see them live would be like absolutely phenomenal.
So I had to stop and think, like, who is no longer alive or who is no longer available for me to go and see. So immediately and most recently I was thinking, well, I didn't get to meet JDF, and that was kind of like the thing I wanted to do. But if I'm just going to observe, I can't really meet the guy. So from there, I think I would have to go back and I would want to see the wrestling pay-per-view where Stone Cold Steve Austin and Bret Hart did the I Quit match, WrestleMania 13 or something like that.
Correct. Yeah.
I would go back
and I would have the Rosemont Horizon in Chicago.
There you go. And I would
WrestleMania encyclopedia that is Joseph Priestley.
That's right. And I would want to be, I would be front and center.
First 20, yeah. Yeah.
Front and center, WrestleMania 13, Bret Hart versus Stone Cold Steve Austin in the I Quit match.
I mean, if you're going to go that avenue, then I guess like I didn't even think of that. Like that wasn't even like a thing in my mind.
I was either between that or like the Sermon on the Mount where Jesus was, doing one of his biggest sermons ever. So I was really tough.
Hey, also biblical. I mean, that's biblical enough. I mean, Stone Cold's biblical. 316, baby.
That's right. The inception of Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Baptized by the fire,
If we're doing happier ones.
I don't know. Do I go back and watch? Owen Hart versus Bret Hart at WrestleMania 10 in the steel cage match? Not in the steel cage, in the one-on-one match to open WrestleMania 10, one of the best opening matches of WrestleMania history. Do I go back to SummerSlam and watch that steel cage match for the world title where Owen should have won? Like, there's a lot of things, like a lot of wrestling moments I would revisit. That's too hard.
King of the Ring 99, sit there right there behind the commentator table so that Mick Foley gets thrown at your feet.
That's crazy. Like you just watch a dude fall from the sky.
The first World Championship video game tournament.
Ooh.
I would love to go back and be a fly on the wall and just
smell those stinky nerds all together.
Like, do you mean like the Nintendo one?
The like Pac-Man and Tetris and the first large scale like actual tournament.
Oh, okay.
That would be really cool just to see like. Because, back in the day, for somebody to memorize how many hours of Pac-Man, like, pathing and just have it in your brain, like...
I mean, those dudes are fucking geniuses.
Yeah, like, no kidding. Like, how in the world... Like I'll play Pac-Man, and I'm decent at it. I'm not the greatest in the world by any means, but, like, I'm decent at it. But I don't understand how someone would memorize the path for 4 ghosts on, like, 250 different boards. That's insane.
It's like watching my dad play Space Invaders, and he can get the game from level 1 all the way back to level 1. Yeah, I watched my dad.
I can't do that with a
watch my dad do it on Atari many times. Like he would cycle the game back to level 1 because he's that good at Space Invaders.
Speaking
of,
like,
how do you get that good? And he's like, you just play.
Yep.
Well, seeing we all took a second stab there, I'm going to go with one. These always intrigue me. We've all had massive nights out or whatever else where you wake up really under the weather and you open up the banking app to see what the damage was for the night before because you can't remember and you're like, oh, fuck, here we go. And I would love to have been a fly on the wall when Elon Musk woke up that morning and realized he didn't have the $40 billion in his bank account to cover the Twitter sale. I think that would have been fantastic.
So, man, I got to sell my Bitcoin now. So... For the record, you guys, you mentioned Save Room like 40 minutes ago. I've been standing here scrolling through the store trying to find it because guess what doesn't pop up when you type in save room? So I went to the bottom of the sale and went and scrolled up when I should have started at the top, but I was like,
sales are alphabetical, so you should just be able to go to.
It wasn't.
I fucking love the PlayStation Store. It's such a fucking mess.
It's so bad.
Well, that's why they're banning spam because they can't. Because people finally got fed up with how bad the store is. Like, oh well, how can we fix this? Well, I know, just ban all the spam. All the 99-cent transactions on there.
Hey Darrell, here's a little secret. You can actually search the developer, and it'll bring up the list of games.
Oh shit! You're click on one of their games, and it'll bring up the rest of them in like the suggested games.
I just sat here and scrolled up while we were talking, so I had a good time, a good conversation, good company, and then I finally found it.
Did you find it?
Yep. You know the best thing about that, Joe, is the sun's always brightest before the flare out, and so these companies are just going absolutely ham. There are so many spam games coming out in the last 2 weeks and the next month. It's just like
they're going to go friggin' nuts, dude.
You know what? That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to get the My Name Is Mayo trilogy cards, and then I'm going to pick up the last two, I'm going to pick up the Rat Pack DLC.
There you go. All right. So Gaz writes in and he says the worst game he played this year is Speed 3.
Oh, that is shocking, that game. So that is disgraceful. And the only thing that's not is even more disgraceful is I know someone that played that game on the Switch. So there weren't even achievements. And it's just and they played it to completion. That is why
would you do that to yourself?
It's such a bad game. It's 5 tracks, right? And that's all it is. And you've got to do them like all these different cups and they just keep adding laps. The AI is stupid. And it's so bad that you can rubber band the controller and let the car just hit the walls and go around. It's a better experience than actually playing it yourself. And I'm shocked, sir, that you would play that. It's disgraceful.
That's awesome. The things you'll do for trophies, Gaz. I'm
it's
so
like
proud.
20 hours as well. It's insane. It's ridiculous.
It's a thing, man. Once they get their hooks in you can't control yourself. Gaz also writes in. He says, "Would you rather be born in an elephant's trunk or a giraffe's neck?"
Born,
like you're born, birthed out of.
Oh, birthed out of.
Yeah, you're birthed out of an elephant's trunk. Or would you rather be birthed out of a giraffe's neck?
That's like an aliens moment or something out of the giraffe's neck.
Yeah, you have to burst out of it.
Yeah. If Sigourney Weaver was there, I'd take the neck. Yeah, why not?
Yeah, the giraffe's neck probably. On the bright side, there's only one hole to come out of in a giraffe's neck. There, you have to pick a hole to come out of in an elephant's trunk.
Whoa, that's pretty deep right there, man.
It's like so big, you just
that is such a British question, isn't it? Like their whole country is falling apart. The royal family is fucked, and Harry and Meghan are basically going to destroy the country, which is wonderful to see as a member of that Commonwealth. Still, I can't wait. And so life is so fucked up. So now I'll just make a question of getting born out of a giraffe's neck. It's such escapism. I love it. It's wonderful. Wonderful. Imagine what he's teaching his children. Like, don't go outside. The country's ruined. But let's think about this giraffe neck situation.
His escapism has been harassing me about finishing my 5 platinums.
That's right. You deserve it, though. You have given Joe so much crap about his pledge games. You deserve it.
Listen, I got 2 pledge games left.
Wait, how many episodes have you recorded on the pledge games you have finished?
0.
Ooh,
exactly.
So you're only halfway there. All right, check it out. Styling writes in and says, "I bet either way, whether you're born out of an elephant's trunk or giraffe's neck, you give yourself an amazing BJ."
Sounds very scientific.
I don't know how that changes the quality of BJ you give, but okay.
I don't know that if I'm born the way I am now, it's any more possible. Like,
long-necked people. Like, if you were born out of giraffe's neck, most likely you would have a long neck yourself. Just that would be obvious, I would imagine. And those people in life that you see their head come around the door like 5 seconds before their body, the long necks.
Yeah,
I reckon that would be an advantage in life for that, for that sexual pleasure. I mean, there'd be a lot of disadvantages.
I wonder if they're flexible enough to do it. Just because you have a long neck doesn't mean that you can actually contort yourself.
You'd have to practice stretching it. Yeah,
you would hope that both of your necks are long.
Yeah, you'd meet halfway. Well, then maybe you'd be better off with a short neck. So, and a long other thing. Yeah.
Well, what if you're unfortunate and you got this really long neck, but this really stubby little penis? Like, what are you going to do with that?
See, I know there's penis extensions, but I've never heard about neck extensions. So that makes you wonder too, doesn't it?
Are they one and the same?
Yeah, maybe. Let me have a look here on the this red tube. It's got got the ads for it down the side here. No, nothing about neck extensions. Yeah.
No neck extensions either way. All right, so the final question for this monstrously long community question.
Imagine if you had a rock hard neck, though. Ooh, that'd be tough.
Jared writes in, says, but wouldn't it be better to be born with a horse's penis? If it was really long, I'm sure you could also blow yourself. I'd rather have a huge one with a small neck. He weighed into this.
Yeah, it's a small neck thing.
Yeah, definitely the small neck thing. The thing about the small neck thing is, if you guys ever watch Married at First Sight, you get the guy that has like no neck, you know?
Yes.
You don't want that. You don't want to look like that guy.
What if there's aggressive thrusting in the mouth, though, and you had a small neck? Would it be enough to support your head if it was really getting thrown back? I wonder.
My question is this: is like
fucking snap.
That's
if you
right.
have a really
like
long neck,
yeah.
if you have a really long neck and a really big wiener, why would you want to put it in your own mouth?
It's true.
Because if you could, you would, right? It's like, why do women masturbate?
That's the name of the show right there. If you could, you would, right?
It's like those really tall people die young because they're really tall. I wonder, long neck people are probably the same. Just though got a long neck,
maybe
going to die young.
May as well. Just
it's a fascinating
what does it say about
topic.
like people with huge cocks? Do they die because it's like the more weight you have to carry around, you die faster? Is that how it works?
That's true. You've never heard anyone complain about that problem, though, Joe, have you? Oh, I got a big cock. I'm going to die.
Maybe they weren't alive long enough to complain
about it.
It's like, oh, I got this massive wiener. I'm dead now,
and I'm dead.
So I don't know how any of that has anything to do with video games, but hey, you know what?
There's a game in there somewhere.
People don't come here for the video game talk. Let's be fucking real.
There's definitely a game in there. Yeah.
Well, I'm pretty sure the game they're talking about is.
You know, this like esoterical type thinking. This is what Kojima's doing right now. He's thinking long necks, massive dicks, born out of a giraffe's neck. That's a game, and that's why that guy's a genius. Because like we could joke, he's like, writing it down.
He's like, I'll just have him wear a baby on his chest, and he'll carry, and the giraffe will carry.
He's got
packages.
like a computer scanning all the podcasts in the world, and he's just heard that little bit, and he'll just listen to that bit and go, done. And like that's why he's so successful. He takes everybody's ideas that are random and he puts them together.
So you think he's just siphoning everyone's ideas?
Yeah, of course.
So like Death Stranding was really a way to tap into all of our homes.
Yeah.
So you can hear all the shit we're saying. That's how we're all connected.
He probably he finally came to America from wherever he lived in Asia there, and he's like, oh my God, they have this FedEx thing that delivers packages. That's a game. That's how it works.
He's like, everybody drinks Monster Energy. We're going to put that in there.
That's right.
All right.
Now, didn't they take that out? Somebody told me in the PS5 version they took it out.
They took it out,
That's
yeah.
awesome.
I guess the license ran up when they re-released the director's cut or whatever.
Yeah. That's not a job Kojima's doing, is it? He's not sitting there reprogramming every scene that had a monster in it. He's got some guy there. It's like the monster guy.
Oh, dude, I would love
monster guy.
I would love to be the monster guy. Pay me to be the monster guy.
It comes up in the credits. Monster deletion guy.
Yeah. He just made $60,000 this year for deleting monster cans out of Death Stranding.
That'd be a great job title, wouldn't it? You know, like you go, you put it on your CV. What do you do? I'm the deletionist. I mean, the Saints Row team could do with someone like that. You could just delete the whole game. But
I picked it up. I pulled the trigger.
Did they pay you? Did you pay them?
And 15.
It's not
I
dreadful.
almost did it.
It's not dreadful.
I did it. I got the PS4 one, so I got 2 trophy lists.
Yeah.
I want to do it. I want to play it because I love all the Saints Row games. But when I heard they changed rim jobs to gym robs, I was just like,
I'm sorry. That shit had me laughing when you told me that. I was like, that can't be real. And I looked it up, and it was real.
It's totally real. I'm like, so who thought that was a good idea?
when I watched Angry Joe's review of it, and I laughed more harder than I laughed all year, and he was like, "Yeah, and let's get the gangs back by painting their cars pink."
Yeah,
and I was like, "What? Like, this is what counts as like vandalism. You're gonna paint their car a different color and then give it back to them." Wow, you really show them.
The story in that game, we'll see what you think, Joe, but the story is quite good. The problem is it should have been a linear game. The open world part is not good. But
you played it?
Yeah, I finished it, yeah.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
No, the story's okay. There's some good scenes in there too, like good set pieces, but the general overworld is not good.
Yeah, I enjoyed all the Saints Row games. I've loved every one of them. So I've played them all.
Yeah.
Up to this point. I'll play this one eventually, but just when it came out and it was buggy and broken, like every other game that came out this year, and I was like, I'll wait.
See, okay, now that's what I want to ask you through, because I noticed this has been asked on a lot of podcasts, sort of, that I've been listening to, and it's I find it interesting, the answers. So this year, has it been a good year for games? Has 2022 been a good year for games?
Yes.
Nah, I'm middle ground on it. Certain games have been great, but I feel like we've gotten a lot of buggy games this year.
Yes, because the games are great, but they're not. I mean, how do I put this? They're all good There's all good intentions with all these great games that came out, but they're just all half-baked ideas, which is what really kind of pisses me off. That's where gaming has gotten. Where like everything is just allowed to be released in these states, and they're like, well, we'll fix it later, and the public has kind of been like, okay, like, the fuck is your problem, people? Like, why are we paying 70? Like, what pisses me off is, okay, oh god, you gotta pay $10 more for your games now because development, but you're still allowed to give me a game that's not finished.
Yep,
that's not fair.
So,
or it doesn't have a free upgrade like Ninja Turtles. That shit pissed me the fuck off.
Yeah,
like you really think I'll get, like, I'm Mr. TMNT. You really think you're gonna get me to buy another copy of that game? You got another fucking thing coming. That shit should have been free. I'm sorry.
I might do it.
I'm not, dude. I'm not. Okay, so if it goes on sale for $10, yeah, I'll but I've got that friggin' the Braveheart. I'm like, hold, because we're holding on that price until it gets to $10. I'm not pulling any trigger until I see that. I put up the hold in the Saints Row, and then I said, you know what, fuck it.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm not gonna get a better deal than this, because the last time I did that with a GameFly game, it sold out, and then I wasn't able to get a copy.
You know what? I don't believe you can do the whole thing at all, because you cave too easily. But you know what? I think rather than do Gaz's challenge of recording what you spend, we should do the Gaz hold challenge. We should do, like, Jared should do a little meme of Gaz's head on the Braveheart body, because he is the guy that holds. Like, he holds, and
he's not as bad as Yield.
Do you think?
Yield? So I call it yielding on the price.
Yeah, but you'd never buy it.
Yield messaged me, and he's like, "That's fucking brilliant, man. I'm gonna tell you." Because he's like, you used my name, but you used it in a context that makes absolutely fucking sense for what I do. Like, he's like, I yield until the bargain bin.
Yeah.
Because you do. I poke fun with Yield all the time. That Yield is the cheapest motherfucker I've ever met. Like, I swear, like, he'll wait till a game is $5 and he won't budge until it's that cheap. Like I held on Ratchet & Clank because everyone was beating it in like a day. I'm like, I'm not buying a game and beating it in like 40 seconds. And I heard that's what Ratchet & Clank is. I heard it's like really short, like super short. But then when it went on sale for Black Friday, and my wife's like, well, I'll get it for you for Christmas. I was like, holding is done. I'm not paying for that shit. Hold's over. Thank you.
Totally worth it. That was a good game.
But like Turtles, like I wanted it so bad. And it went on sale for like 20% off this week. So it went down from 24 to 20 this week. And I was like,
you're wrong not to.
I was like, because I want a reason to play it again, because the game is so dead at this point. Like, no one's playing it.
Yeah.
I went to pop on just to see how the online was, and like, there's no one playing it. It reminded me of like Simpsons Arcade Game, when Simpsons Arcade Game, like after like a few months, there was no one playing it on Xbox. Like, you couldn't find somebody to play that game. But yeah, I just think this year was a great year for games. We had a lot of great games come out, but we had almost half the shit that we really wanted delayed till next year,
or broken. The other half that came out wasn't released in a good state.
But even like look at, we got was Resident Evil this year?
Nope.
Was 8 this year?
Nope.
No.
Oh, 8 was last year.
Yep. We got the DLC in October.
It feels like 8 was this year, but it was really last year.
Yep.
But again, that was another game that got fucked because of the year it came out. Like, it just got buried underneath all the good things. And I feel like no matter what comes out next year, everything's fucked. Everything's fucked because of Zelda. It doesn't matter what you are. If you're not Tears of the Kingdom, you're fucked next year. I'm sorry. Like, that game, you could just hand the Game Award to them now, because there's nothing beating that. It's just not possible. They could give you the biggest fucking rap turd sandwich in the planet, and all the Nintendo lemmings would dive off their fucking Nintendo cliff towards it. I've seen them dive at fucking remakes at $60. Like, I have this rant on our Driftcast all the time that Nintendo fans are just fucking lemmings, and they will eat this shit up. Like, I could release like Mario 3 for $60 tomorrow on the Switch, and people are like, let's go. There's nothing changed with the game. CJ, do you remember? Did you have a Wii?
No.
Darrell, do you remember when? Or do you even remember when they made the Super Mario collection on the Wii, and they literally just ported the Super Nintendo game on that shit and charged $60 for it, and people ate it up like it was like the greatest thing on the planet?
I remember.
And I was like, are you fucking kidding me? This is why they get away with doing what they do, because people buy it. It's like Last of Us, right? Like, they know people will pay $70 for that. And like Corey was trying to tell me this whole like reason of why it's so expensive and why it came out when it did. He's like, man, they're just marketing towards the show. Look, the game came out, and then the show's going to come out in January, and everyone's going to go out and buy the game for $70 because they saw the show, and now they're going to, it's their plan, man. They're going to sell so many PS5s because, you know, all these people are going to go out after seeing the show, and they're going to want to play the game. And I'm like, no, they're fucking not. Half the people that are going to watch the show already played the fucking game. They're just going to nitpick that the show's not the game.
Yep.
And they're going to say that five-headed girl that's really ugly that everyone has to make fun of, which is sad. Like, leave the girl alone. We know she's not pretty. We get it. Like, there's worse things to complain about. Like, let's complain about how we keep getting remakes every year and not enough new games. And that's kind of the state that we live in gaming right now. We live in a state where no one wants to take any risks anymore. And they just want to give you sequels and carbon copies of other things that sell. We're in a place now where multiplayer and cash grab games are taking over, and that's really all people want to make now because they're guaranteed to make money. That's kind of where we're at, and it's a sad state to be in, where like that middle ground, like AA title games have kind of like dropped out. They don't exist anymore because no one's willing to fund those things in 2023 or
See,
I don't know what you guys have to say about that.
It's funny because the general consensus of a lot of the podcasts, the IGN and all these other, big ones is that, it wasn't a good year. It wasn't a good year for exclusives for Sony or Microsoft, obviously. And even for Nintendo, maybe not so good. Although I think Nintendo by far had the best selection this year. Had an amazing selection if you like RPGs and JRPG. But if you dig under the surface, and I think like this is where next year will be interesting because there's a lot of big games which potentially will fail, like you say. It'll be interesting to see. But this year there were a ton of like these AA, like you're talking, like, I mean, on the Switch, things like this Harvestella that went under the thing. There's a new Dragon Quest Treasures game, like Soul Breakers 2 on PlayStation or whatever else. There's so many. Like, I've got like about 40 RPGs from the last 6 months. Like, it's funny when you say like wallet's in danger for next year. Like, I don't think mine is, because a lot of I like those games maybe more than the big games, and for this year, the last 6 months for JRPG and RPG have been unbelievable, especially on Nintendo. It's just crazy. And I think maybe if you don't play those games, this year's not good at all for you. But if you do, and even on that indie line as well, like it's just crazy how much stuff has come out. Just maybe not a lot of big stuff.
If you like RPGs, get your dick ready for next year because it's going to get sucked a lot.
Yeah, the big Western RPG. Yeah, but I don't know. Yeah.
But you also got the next Ryza game comes out early next year, like February, I think, and then you have what's his face? The hell is it? You have another Trials game coming out next year too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but we had the Western, finally the Western port of the Japanese Zero as well, like already last month.
Yeah,
there's been a ton. I think there's been a ton. Like, I don't think a lot of people, maybe because they don't play those games, they realize, but like. This year, in the last 3 months, I've bought more things like big games that I want to play than I have in the last 5 years, definitely. And like, that's crazy because you listen everywhere, nothing's coming out. And yes, none big stuff maybe, but there's just so much that, on that next layer. Then, like,
look at just Square alone. Square alone is like,
even like
they're like, hey, here's 15 games. And I'm like, wait, why are these all coming out in 3 months when you have 12 months in the year? Like, why? Like, I was like, Harvestella would have done better in the springtime when there was nothing else to buy, instead of putting it in like the fall, basically.
Yeah. Well, no, it's just
winter,
just crowded. But I mean, even like that Evil West that came out, a couple of weeks ago and then died or whatever, because maybe there's just too much coming out as well of these middle games or whatever. And it's just great. Like, the amount of stuff. Like, I'm sure we're going to get into next year and all these big things will come. And I remember this time last year, I didn't have really anything to play, which is insane with the number of games I have, but not much. And then this year is just completely the opposite. And I don't
anything you wanted to play.
Yeah,
is the real way of saying
perhaps.
that. You always have things to play.
Yeah, perhaps. Yeah, that's right.
We'll have things to play until we die.
Yeah,
literally. Like, look behind me. Like, I'll never beat all that.
Yeah,
shit.
But it's funny if you're prepared to dive in a little bit. Maybe off. Like even on Game Pass, there's a lot of stuff that's not getting. Citizen Sleeper. Amazing game. Norco.
That's a pretty cool game. Did you play Dio Field Chronicles?
Yeah, no, I've got that here as well. I haven't got to Spellforce Reforged.
I want to play Dio Field, and I almost bought it
ones.
yesterday because I think Square had it for like 50% off, and I was like, already?
Yeah.
And I was like,
yeah.
I want to jump in real fast.
Right.
I know you guys are having a great conversation and a great tangent. I guess tangent. Even you're really taking and shaping the where we're going.
All right.
So I want to jump in. No, perfect. This is beautiful. So what I want to jump in is I want to ask a couple questions. With all these RPGs, we always talk about I feel like we talk about a certain type or a certain flow of games that appeals to certain gamers pretty regular. So I want to hone in on what y'all are talking about. With these RPGs, I know the commissioner right now, his little dinghy just hit his desk.
Bro, he's like, why the fuck am I not in this episode?
Yeah,
that's what I'm going to get. I'm going to get a message. I'm going to get a message when this comes out. Why wasn't I here for this?
So here's what I want.
He's playing the Divine Force, Star Ocean as well. Another great one.
Okay.
I think he's almost done with it.
Yeah. Crazy.
So here's what I want to know. All right. I need to know 5. And I don't know why, just 5 is the number I pulled out of my butt. 5 RPGs that I need to purchase on the Switch. Like you guys rattled off like 7 or 8 already. Like what are and not only that, but like I want to know what style they are. What would I liken them to? I heard Harvestella. What is that?
See, I don't think any of these games are for you though, Darrell, because they're massive time sink games. Like
Harvestella is more of a like a, how do I put this? It's like mixing like Harvest Moon and an RPG together.
Perfect.
And it's a really, really beautiful game. And I've only played the demo, but you can play the demo. So you can download the demo, Darrell, and if you like it, your save progress carries over to the complete copy of the game. A lot of RPGs do that on the Switch, actually. You can play the first few chapters, and if you like said game, you buy it and you continue off where you left off. It's tough though, Darrell, because I know that you're not the biggest fan of RPGs, so like where to actually guide you. I think you would gravitate a lot towards like
I think you should play Celeste.
It's not an RPG, but he should play it.
Yeah.
Celeste's an amazing game. And it's an easy thing to pick up on the Switch and play.
Yep.
Oh, what the hell is that? PJ, what's that RPG with all the guns in it on PS4?
Ooh. I don't know.
Where you play, where it's like it's a grid-based RPG, and like you have to like have your units like in like a grid. What the fuck is it called? It's
not the Valkyria Chronicles type thing.
No, but that game is amazing. Did you play the new one, Elysium?
No, not yet. I've got
it's
it.
Okay.
And the
I have it too.
It's on the list.
It's good. It's good.
I think you should play Darrell. Like if for Switch, I think you should get Xenoblade Chronicles 3. It's probably the best thing there. But I'm not sure that it'll be good.
You don't have to play. You don't have to play the other two. So yeah, I think that's good. I think you like tactics. You played tactics games, right, in the past?
I have, yeah.
I think you might want to try. You could try a Fire Emblem, or you could go get Tactics Ogre. Did you play Tactics Ogre on
Shin Megami Tensei?
I don't know. I don't know if Darrell will be able to get down with that. That's a lot of.
The reason I'm not even so much asking for my personal interest, more so also just for the collecting aspect. Like, what is a good one to own? Now, I want to dial it back a minute. And CJ, you had just mentioned one, the Xenoblade Chronicles. I know, Joe, you've talked about that one before. What style of RPG is Xenoblade? Is that like an action RPG?
Action.
Is it okay?
Action, but it's not like you don't really control the character as much as you think you do. It's basically like if you ever played Final Fantasy 12, it's kind of like you set up like a set of commands, and the computer initiates those commands after you set them up.
Okay, so like a Dragon Age kind of thing, where you almost send them in, you click the button, then they start fighting for you. And
correct.
Okay,
Gotcha. It's not 100% like free flow combat. It's more like active combat in a way.
Okay.
But see, I think the one you should play out of all of them, considering how long it is and your interest, and this is one that's gone massively under the radar, but if you start it, you have to finish it because it makes no sense until you get to the end. And then when you get to the end, it makes a lot of sense and it's actually really good. It's plenty of jank in it as well. The DLC is fucking impossible unless you jank it, so don't worry with that. But Strangers of Paradise, the Final Fantasy game that came out earlier this year. And yeah, it doesn't look amazing or whatever else, but the story is fantastic because it doesn't make a lot of sense until you get towards the end. And the end has a massive reveal, and it's a really good product within that Final Fantasy universe. I know you've played a lot of them, and it's not abusive of your time. I think you can finish it in 12 hours. There is some crazy level design every now and then, unfortunately, but if you can get through that, and it's only 12 hours, it's that's a great bite size. Everyone, that likes Final Fantasy should play that game because
that's another victim of too many games coming out in a year.
Yeah, and it's janky.
Swept under the radar.
Definitely. And Ninja, I think Team Ninja did that, didn't they? The DLC is dreadful.
Yes. But they did. They did a fantastic job with that game. I played the demo and I really loved it. And I finally picked it up because it was like 50% off this week. And I was like,
you'll enjoy it.
All right, I'll finally get it.
Yeah, it's good. That's what I mean. There's many of these games.
I was searching for a PS4 copy for so long and couldn't find one.
Yeah.
Because I wanted the free upgrade because I was like, it's fucking free. Like, I'm still living in this I want both versions world, which I think 2023 is going to be the year where I stop doing that. And like, I just try to respect my time and the fact that I'm not going to. What happened?
I call bullshit.
Fuck off.
I call bullshit because you're literally the one thing you just said you were looking forward to is getting the free upgrade for DBZ Kakarot, the PS5. So don't fucking lie to me like that.
Because the game's so fucking good.
You just said I'm going to stop worrying about it in 2023. Hey guys, guess what we're getting in 2023? We're getting that upgrade
for free. I didn't have to pay any more for that. And I didn't go in buying two versions. I bought one version, destroyed it, and spent like 70 hours in that universe. And I'm like, I'll do that again because I really like Dragon Ball Z.
I'm going to respect my time and not play games that I've already played.
Listen, fuck off. I play Muso games for a living. Like, if I could literally stream my Muso game playing, I would literally just do that. Because like, people would get a kick out of watching me just play the same level over and over. If they can watch Tricky play fucking Division for 190 million hours a year, I can play the same level.
Let's be honest. The three people that are in Tricky's party watching Tricky are usually
are from his podcast.
Are usually Rick, his alt account, and maybe MZ here and there.
Damn.
All right. So
wait, the biggest travesty. I want to say this because I forgot. So now you talk all these games. This game is perfect for you. You all fucking blow your load on this series. You all you love it. You've played all the iterations up until this point. None of you have fucking mentioned this game since it came out. I listen every week. I'm like, what the fuck? How could you not mention this game? Do you know what it is? You've played the other games in this series. You love them. You have not. You talked about this before it came out. It's been out for a couple of months at least. Nobody here has talked about it or played it or even said they want to get it. It's tragic. You know what it is?
What game?
The Devil in Me.
Actually, I did just. Hold on. I did talk about it last week.
Did you?
I talked about it last week. I did.
Did you start playing it?
Because I haven't started yet. I got it. I got it from GameFly to play because everybody else is talking about how it's.
And
bad,
I talked about it last week as well. I said,
how can no one? You buy everything.
Janky.
It's not janky. It's fantastic. It's on that murder hotel. That was a real place apparently in America.
I really want to play it, but again, they've got me on this whole kick where like I'm holding on their games now too because they drop so fast.
That one's not even a full price game. It's like a half price game.
I think it's a $40 game. I think I'm just gonna pull the trigger. But again, I'm pissed at like the fact that I have to buy it digitally, and I don't like to buy their games digitally. I wanted to buy that one physically, so I might just have to bite the bullet and just buy the PS5 copy because I don't think they made a digital or physical PS4 copy of that. They only
it's on GameFly.
Is it? Does it have free upgrade?
Pull
that trigger.
It's sold out on GameFly, and it does have a free upgrade. It says it on the.
See, that's why it's fucking sold out because it's a free upgrade.
Yeah. So here's my thing.
I didn't.
You know what? I'll put it. It's okay because I'll just put it in like to remind me when it goes. It's available. I'll do that, and then it'll email me when it's available. So.
I'm glad you brought that one up, CJ, because we were all supposed to do House of Ashes together. Okay,
you didn't play yet.
Yeah, we were supposed to do it for October for.
Yeah, we were supposed to do it together, and then the schedules never lined up, and so I didn't even finish House of Ashes. So I didn't buy Devil in Me because I didn't finish the last one. But I did play the first two, and I really enjoyed them, especially Little Hope. I really liked Little Hope.
Yep. That was my game of the year for this year.
Is there
House of Ashes is not bad. What I played of it's pretty good. I just hadn't finished it yet because I got, how I do.
Well, this is
I get
the
you, CJ,
first
'cause
one
we do
that's
talk
not supernatural, because I don't necessarily like that. It was a real place, a real guy apparently in America. I was reading about it, but it's just a normal killer. It's not some guy with magical powers or a werewolf or something.
Sweet.
So
I like that even more.
Horror. Yeah, like real horror. Yeah. It's great.
It's a good way to end off the first season. I'm just happy that the developer actually, like, unlike most developers in this world, they actually like had a vision and they're seeing it through.
Sticking to it, yep.
We're getting 2 seasons of this. We're getting 7 or 8 games, and they're just full steam ahead. Like, they're just doing it. And I'm so happy Stadia failed.
Yep.
I'm so happy because we got the Quarry on console.
Yep.
Because it would never seen the light of day.
That's another one I put in. And
I haven't even played it yet.
It's in my console upstairs right now, but I haven't. It's been in there for months, and I haven't started.
They pissed me
you
the
got
fuck
this
off.
quality, and you're blasting off money on the Callisto protocol. Piece of shit that doesn't even work.
I love that game.
I felt so sorry
because...
for you when I heard you last week, and you were trying to justify one of the worst mistakes of your life, and I just felt so bad for you.
I've started that game over. Played past where I got to originally. I've played it another hour since the show. I quite enjoy that game. Callisto Protocol has. It's got a lot of charm, a lot of my favorite.
Yeah, you've already spent your money. You don't have to justify it now.
Look, I'm trying to. You got to hear me out here, man. It's good.
I played the first few hours. Rick set us up. Rick tried to finish it as quickly as he could, and then he said, "Yeah, it's great," but I think he knew it was fucked as well.
Yeah,
but he wanted us to jump in as well and suffer the pain.
He's like, "No," he's like, "Let me finish this shit turd as fast as possible so I can move on to something I actually want to play." And he's like, "Oh shit, I'm sorry, I spent money on this."
Yeah, well, it was.
And until he tells me anything else, I don't want to hear it.
The game.
I want to hear. I want to have him come on the show and tell me that it's a good game, and I want to look at his reaction on the camera. I want to see his eyes that he could truthfully tell me he enjoyed playing that.
It's frustrating, but it's also really good. Like there's play it on easy. It's not bad. It just changes the whole thing. It's like, you know what? This isn't even a problem anymore. Play it on easy. Play it on baby mode.
People also said Sonic 06 was good, and I don't respect their opinions.
Just recently
anymore.
bought that at the flea market for $1.
That's sad that someone paid $1, or someone tried to sell you that for $1.
They
should have been like, here's a game, and you get this for free for buying a game because it's not worth anything. Like, what could you even resell that for? Like, what would that resell for?
I've got it listed right now for think. Let me go back.
There's no way you're flipping that for a profit. You're probably losing money.
No,
shipping could cost you more than you would make on that. There's no way.
I'll totally make money.
But yes, CJ, just to get back to like Devil and Me, like I really want to play it. But it came out at a time where it's like, okay, it came out, and I was like, Harvestella, that, and then the week I think like right after that was Tactics Over Reborn. And I was like, oh, there's all this good shit on the Switch right now. I really don't have money to buy all these and then buy that because we're like right up to Christmas at that point.
Yeah.
And my wife's like, well, do you want Devil and Me for Christmas? And I was like, yes, but there's all these other games I want too. And
check it out.
It kind of got just shafted to the bottom of the list. But I think if I get a gift card for Christmas, I think that's going to be one of the first things I pick up is Devil and Me because I really want to play it.
Do it. I dare you. Okay, so on eBay right now, the most recent sold comp for Sonic 06 was on the Xbox 360. It sold for $24.99 free shipping.
Who the fuck is paying for that? who the fuck is who in the right mind? Like, did someone walk around with a gun to somebody's head going, all right, you need to play Sonic 06 or you're dead?
Okay, so also same day yesterday, $24.99 plus shipping.
This is just like a real estate war. Some 2 guys are just selling it back and forward to push the price up, and then they'll sell it to some bug for like $30.
All right.
December 21st, it sold for $43 on bid.
Yeah, you should go get it graded, Darrell, and then you can have some WADA games. You can get your Mint 10 Sonic 06 that sells for $26.99 now instead of $24.99. I got jump up so much for a Gem Mint 10 copy of Sonic 06.
I got a sealed copy of Call of Duty Advanced Warfare. Okay, this dude who buys games sealed, sends them off to get graded, and then resells them on eBay. Mm-hmm. Hit me up and was like, my starting bid price was like $13.90 or something, like $13.80. That was the suggested price. I was like, whatever, buy it now for $20. So he messages me and was like, hey, I forgot to bid when it was $13. Can you restart the auction? I'll bid and you just end it. I was like, I got the buy it now option on there. Just use that. He's like, yeah, but I want to get it for $13, not $20. I was like, I'm sorry, dude. Like, that's just, I'm not trying to set a precedent to do that kind of stuff. Like, you can bid on it or you can buy it. Those are the options. This is the suggested price, not something I just pulled out of my butt. So the guy buys it full price, gets it, sends it back to me as defective, said it was resealed. It's not. It's still got the Xbox seal on there, everything. It's like, it's in perfect condition. Even the corners aren't split. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, you just cost me $4 for nothing. You just you just made me ship this thing back to myself for $4.50 for friggin' nothing. What a douche. I gave him a bad review.
You showed him.
Yeah, that's right.
Freaking jerk. So, all right, guys.
I want to update on this Sonic 06 that you're trying to sell because there's no fucking.
I will. I'll tell you as soon as it sells. As soon as it sells, I'll tell you.
Now, again, that just shows to show you that there's a bunch of Sonic nerds out there who like sit there and jerk off in the corner with their copies of Sonic 06 in their hands. Like, because like, what else are you doing with that game? It's so broken, it's unplayable. It's like I don't get it. Or is some kid going, it can't really be that bad, can it? So they buy it and then they play it and they're like, yeah, everyone was right. It's really a piece of shit.
I'm looking now to see what the suggested listing price was.
It's like, you know what the funny thing is about flipping games now? Like, you can make a lot of money on shitty games because they're so shitty. Like, imagine how much a sealed copy of Balan Wonderland is going to go for. Yeah. Especially now that the dude's going to be indicted.
Yeah.
It's like, you can get the prison edition of Balan Wonderland sealed.
Better pick every copy up you see.
I already heard that people are trying to flip him like for a lot of money, knowing that he's going to jail or whatever. And I'm like, listen, do they send people to jail in Japan?
Yeah,
I don't even know.
Sure.
Does he just go to like a sushi, all you can eat sushi restaurant?
All right, so
table, sir, but you get no sushi.
Here's the thing:
watch everyone else eat sushi, and that's your punishment.
We're getting close to the 3-hour mark. All right. We brought CJ on to talk games, and we did talk about a bunch of games. We also talked a bunch about nonsense. CJ, is there anything you want to talk about before we get out of here?
No, I think we just in that last bit, we covered a ton of games there, I think. So I don't know. But I think as Joe said, I've just got like literally like about 40 games sitting in a pile that I'm looking forward to getting into from the last 6 months. Because it's just, you know, the money is one thing, but having the time is the bigger issue.
That's the biggest currency that we are all short on. Doesn't matter how much money you got in your wallet. Doesn't matter how much money you get in your bank account. We're all operating on the same budget when it comes to time.
That's right.
And none of us have enough of it.
And every game we talked about in that last session is like 20 to 50 to plus hour game. So there's no.
We never even gave Darrell an answer of 5 games he should play. I think that's
you named a bunch of them out. It's fine.
Honestly, I just can't fucking give you a definitive answer because, like, I know your taste is so wild. I would tell you that you own Catherine, play Catherine, because Catherine is a game that is more palatable on a handheld than it is on a big screen. Like, you won't want to throw your controller through a fucking wall when you get to the end of the game because it's so hard. Like, the game gets so hard, Darrell, that I literally sat with my head in a pillow screaming when I got to like some of the last levels in that game because it just gets really hard.
I need a picture of that.
I wish it'll be like when I was crying on the floor when my team won the Super Bowl.
We did a picture for the show of Joe with his head in a pillow, freaking out.
Like fucking, that game gave me fucking nightmares for weeks trying to beat it on Xbox 360. I remember the real struggle of beating that the first time. And then I remember playing it on PS3 and PS4 and beating it in like 30 minutes. Or not the PS4 version because I wanted to watch all the additional cutscenes and stuff. But the PS3 version on PS Now, I beat in like 3 hours because I knew exactly how to do all the puzzles. And I just went up to the top. And I was like, I'm done. Beat it. Because I memorized the entire game because I played it so much when it came out. I would say play Catherine. I'll just give you 5 games to play. Play Catherine. Play Mario Kart because Mario Kart's amazing. And it just keeps getting better with all the new tracks they keep adding. I would say Smash Brothers is always a great game. Because it's just always fun to fuck around, even if you suck at it. It's always fun to play. I went to like an event, like a small business owners event kind of thing. Guys hang out. Dude, I got beaten, smashed so many times. I lost to every single person in the building. Play Mario.
Good.
Play Super Mario or Mario Party All Stars because you can play online Mario Party with people and it's fun. It's actually really good.
All Star. Are you talking about? You're talking about the first one that came out for the Switch, not the second one, right?
Second one.
The second one sucks.
No, it doesn't.
I hate Superstars. It was so bad.
Why do you hate Superstars?
I hate the dice mechanic. I hate the move mechanic. I hate.
Well, they tried to. They
changed so much stuff because they tried. They changed so much stuff because they tried taking the old maps and stuff like that and integrating it into their new system.
Well, not their new system. They just
uniform.
tried to make it more palatable for playing online to play quicker. That's what their whole MO was with that. Because they even said in an interview, like, I agree, but I like the
played Bayonetta 2.
Nope.
Yeah, I played that. Yeah,
I have not.
Yes, I love Bayonetta.
Is that any good?
Yeah,
not on the Switch.
And there's a third one now too.
No adventure games are good on the Switch, and I'll tell you why. It's because when you hold a Switch, it doesn't really. It's hard to hold it in your hands and press and move and press the buttons you need to do to play an action game fast enough because of the way you have to grip the Switch. I think playing them on TV on a Switch would be fine, or getting a Fixture S Pro or Fixture S2 for your Switch. You might want to look into that, Darrell. I can send you a link. Yeah, the Fixture S2 is the one with it's like the clamp that clips onto your Pro controller, and then you slip the Switch screen into the grip, and you just hold it. So it makes your Pro controller the actual Switch controller, so you're not using Joy-Cons anymore, and then the screen is attached to it, to a rail. I have the original one. I could send you the original one because you have an older Switch, right?
I've got a lot of Switches.
We can do a trade. We can do a trade ski if you want an original Fixture S. So. Find me my copy of Tony Hawk 5, sir.
Okay, I got one more question for you. I know you did your Game of the Year stuff last week, but I don't think you did this one, this category. So if the best game you think it had to release this year, I think, not previous. Best game this year that's gone under the radar that no one knows about.
Best year this game.
Best game this year.
Best game this year. That was my dyslexia.
Under the radar.
All right. So I got one that I don't. It got a lot of heat and a lot of really bad reviews, but I think the piece that was good went under the radar.
Mm-hmm.
That's Crossfire X.
Ooh,
boom.
Okay, so check it out. When Crossfire X came out, the multiplayer came out to Game Pass. That was free. It was booty hole to the max. Okay, the campaign you had to buy for like $8. That was made by Remedy. It wasn't great, but it was not terrible.
It was a masterpiece.
And I played through it and I was like, oh, this is pretty decent. This isn't bad. You know, but
you played 15 minutes, it's a masterpiece.
All the heat was on the multiplayer. So everyone's opinion of Crossfire X was it was trash. But if you played the campaign, it really wasn't terrible.
It's okay. I started the campaign.
It's not bad. It didn't take long
because guess what? It's free now. Merry Christmas.
Welcome to modern gaming, Darrell, where if the multiplayer sucks, the game sucks because people don't play single player.
Okay. Yeah. Crossfire X is on the list. Joe, best game under the radar.
KO the Kangaroo.
Ooh, that's a deep pull. I like that.
Because that was a great platformer in the vein of Crash Bandicoot, and like nobody played it, and it's fantastic. And Sony can fuck off for getting rid of the free upgrade system for that and making you have to buy both.
He's back on that again.
They did it after it was out for like 3 months, and then when I went to buy it, it wasn't free to upgrade anymore. I was like, you motherfuckers. And they've done that with a few games. They've been sly about it. Like some games, like they had the free upgrade, then they just removed it. Like fucking publishers could suck a nut. But yeah, KO is a really good game. And you should check it out if you can. It's on everything. It's on everything. It's on Switch. It's on Xbox. It's on PS4. I loved it. I thought it was really cool. Really quick game though, not long in the tooth, but it's not going to challenge you like Crash Bandicoot either. It's just a good time. It's like Zach. It's like one of your favorite platformers, Croc and Legend of Gobos.
Oh, so good.
Yeah, it's like that, except not as janky. Did you play the second one, Zach?
No, I haven't played the second one.
Croc 2 in the Legend or in the Return of whatever. I can't remember the fucking name of it.
I don't remember.
It's not as good.
And Zach, best game under the radar.
Yes. Enlisted.
Oh, I don't know this.
Okay.
It is a free to play game.
Yeah.
It's a multiplayer shooter, but it is more of like a multiplayer simulation shooter. for like, and it's set in World War I, so it's like big battlefield objective based matches and stuff like that. But the way that the upgrade systems and the weapons work, it's really intricate. So you unlock squads by leveling up your characters, and they're all individual, separately Axis allies. Your characters all get names. You can buy new troops. You can buy weapons for it. You have to buy weapons to give them. They have skill trees. And then there's like a bunch of different squadrons to open. Your certain squads can only carry certain types of troops and stuff. It's really, really complex and really, really well made for being a free to play game.
Is it on Xbox or?
Yeah, it's on Xbox and PlayStation and PC. I actually found it scrolling through the free to play section on Xbox because I have a friend that we find multiplayer games to play together when we're bored with our main games, and we just try them, and we were pleasantly surprised with it.
That sounds good. I'll mark that one down. And I'm going to throw out, because no one's mentioned it again tonight, turn-based. And I like it. And you guys would probably like it because you like comic book stuff. I don't have much interest in it, but the gameplay is really good. Is that Marvel Midnight Suns?
That's what I keep hearing.
Yeah,
I almost picked that up.
It's really good.
I might.
Really good. And if you like the property, which you guys do, you like it even more than me, I'm sure, then. But even if you don't, it's good.
I hear it's got a really heavy dating aspect into it, too. Like a relationship aspect?
Like character building. Yeah. Oh, character relation. Yeah. Yeah.
It's social. I would say it has a social tree system.
Yeah. It's got a few dodgy. It's got it's turn based, but it's got a card system that's RNG because you don't know what cards you're necessarily going to get. But aside from that, it's good. Yeah, it's really good. Much better than it probably should be.
I would say
Firaxis.
I would say don't play that, Darrell. Go play Marvel or go play Mario and Rabbids. First one.
Spark of Hope. Oh,
that's Did you play Spark of Hope yet?
No, it's on the pile. It's supposed to be excellent.
I got it for $30 the other day from Best Buy.
Yeah.
It's just sitting on the shelf over there.
Yeah.
Like I just bought it because I was like, you know what? I was like, I'll get to it when I eventually beat like the 90-100 level first game, because the first game is like forever long.
That's right. Yeah. The good thing about
it's great though, Darrell. It's do you ever play XCOM, Darrell?
Yeah, it's the same.
I have owned several of them, never played them. I thought about playing XCOM on the Vita because I own it there, and that would be a nice place to play, but I hear it runs like trash.
So the XCOM game, so the Mario and Rabbids game is basically just the XCOM developers just like, we're like, here, we're going to make a Mario game with Rabbids in it. And they gave them like just like free reign, and they pumped out this amazing gem of a game that should have it should not be this good. Like with Rabbids in it. Like there's like no one would ever think that this would be like a 5-star game, but it is. And the game is just so fucking good. It plays really well. Like Kalai got me to play it. Kalai's like, I know you're like, you like this kind of stuff, and I don't know if you're like really into this type of gameplay, but like this game is really good and you should play it. And I was like, okay, I'll check it out. I played it, and before the end of the day, I was like, oh, I'm almost done with World 1. And she's like, what do you mean World 1? I'm like, I mean like Chapter 1, but that's it, right? She's like, no, that's Chapter 1 of World 1.
Yeah.
I was like, fuck me. There's like a million levels in this game.
Yeah.
And like they get hard because the boss fights are like really difficult, even on like easy. Like just intricate ways that they place enemies on the map for you to like, and the mechanics you have to use to kill things. It just gets really like intricate, and like it's a well put together game, but they explain everything.
I need to do that. Yeah.
That's
I really should play an XCOM game just because.
Yeah, I would play that one because you can play it on the Switch and it's easy to pick up and put down.
Yeah.
I just picked up the steelbook of Yakuza Like a Dragon.
That's great. Yeah.
Okay.
I was thinking about playing that because it's turn based, and I was thinking about this. I think I might have said this on the show before, but like with my job, I can have a game up above me, turn based, play a turn, do a bunch of calls, do a bunch of reports, whatever. Play a turn and just kind of have it as ongoing thing.
Yep. Yeah.
So I really think that I really need to invest and pivot what I want to play into a turn-based style game so that I can kind of do that here and there as I'm working, because there's sometimes I have these large gaps where it's like, okay, I can do something.
Darrell's going to get really good at chess.
That, or you might want to turn to roguelikes.
Do you leave your system in rest mode when you're working?
I do.
Yeah, it's perfect then. So that's what I do too, and just have one game always open, never close it, and just turn the system off in rest, and then you open it, and it's ready to go.
I miss COVID times working from home.
Dude,
you'd be in a meeting and just playing PlayStation in the background.
Yeah.
So I've got Siphon Filter. I've just got it sitting up right above me, and I'm almost done with it. But like, not a good game to go back to, and whatever. But I just I'll do a couple calls and I'll play a little bit. Then I'll do a couple calls and I'll play a little bit. And
yeah, so I've
been trying that.
You got like 20 PS5, so you could have every game we talked about tonight on a PS5 in rest mode in different states. You can play them all. It'd be perfect. Just move between them. It'd be wonderful.
That's why he doesn't need an Xbox just to spend 5 games at a time when he has 5 PS5.
Actually, he could also use his new backbone that's coming with the remote play app on his phone.
You know what? I got to check on that. That still hasn't got here yet.
Roro.
Yep. So awesome, guys. Well, great.
Awesome. Thank you.
This has been a 3-hour show. Hope you guys enjoyed it. This has been the Loot Bros podcast. I always love when we have this group together. This has been awesome. Good, easy conversation. No effort at all. We just get together. We start jabbering our jaws. So, CJ,
just before you wrap out, is it okay? If I just want to thank you 3 guys, Kalai as well, Matt, because he's basically become a member as well, pretty much. He's been on so much. It's great. Like I haven't had the time to come on or whatever, but I listen every week. It's a highlight of the Monday evening or Tuesday when it comes out here. So I really enjoy listening, and also to all your people through your Facebook and your Discord. I know your show's growing, which is awesome as well. I hope everyone has a great break. I know this time of year is not always the easiest for everybody as well. Some people, new life directions and things happen at this time as well. But by all means, reach out. You're not alone. That's what the Discord and the Facebook 100%. Are for as well, and have fun, whatever you're doing. And if you are alone or whatever else, go back and listen to some of the old episodes, the really old episodes as well.
Oh, yeah.
They're fantastic, and game it up, or drop messages as well. But I've really appreciated this year, guys. It's been wonderful to sort of live gaming vicariously through you and listen to your conversations as well. So thank you so much for having me on.
Well, dude, thanks for coming.
For always coming on.
You are one of the most beloved people in our community. The podcast loves you. The community loves you. Like when we say CJ's coming, everyone's like, yes, we always have a good laugh. You bring a lot to the show. You bring a lot to the community. So we appreciate you. We appreciate all you guys that contribute. And tonight was like an all-star highlight of that. Like we mentioned CJ's coming. Dr. Deuce comes out of retirement, starts writing poetry.
No, I think you brought him out of retirement with that whole rant of like, oh, he went into hibernation. He's never coming back. And he was like, oh, fuck you, Darrell. I'm going to write a fucking haiku.
He wrote a haiku.
He called your bluff. And he's like, I'm going to write a haiku, brother.
But we had Gaz in here tonight. We had Red Beer Rick in here tonight. So like a lot of good writes. Of course, we had Matt writing in. So Styling coming in with some weird stuff. So it's like, this was great. Tonight was a good show, a lot of fun. I really appreciate you guys. And again, another great year of podcasting, great year of community building. And every year it's been something different. Every year we've tried different things. We've swapped some people out. We've had some people come and go. And this has been probably some recency bias in there, but one of the most fun years I've had doing this show, because we've found a flow. And it's been going. It's been really good. So I've really enjoyed this, guys. Thanks, everyone, for listening. Everyone who has subscribed to the show, who comments back and forth. Thank you, Zach. Thank you, Joe. Joe, we're glad to have you back full time. CJ, you are always welcome. You don't even have to ask.
Thank you.
We definitely appreciate you. And, guys, next week, Siphon Filter. So if you're not ready, get ready. And if you didn't beat the game, watch a YouTube playthrough. Because this is a janky freaking game.
If you didn't beat the game, this is the week to get COVID again.
This is the week to beat it and play the game.
CJ, I would love for you to come back either in a few weeks or whenever you can.
Well, let's come back in the end of January and talk about all the games we played on our holidays. That'd be awesome.
Most anticipated games for the year.
Yeah.
Because there's just so many.
Yeah.
I would like to just go down the list with all of you guys and just say, hey, what do we think we're going to get this year?
Yeah.
Let's put it on the calendar.
Yeah.
Let's see what CJ's got available.
I guess, Zach, it was great had a great year. I mean, we tried to start a podcast and we got 2 episodes in, and then someone decided to have a PC breakdown. And then he's like, well, I don't really know if I could do this show. And then he's like, well, maybe we'll do it once every other week. And then that hasn't happened yet. But I think 2023 will be a resurgence for the WrestleCast, and we'll figure out what we can do and how we can make it work. We've shopped around some ideas, and I'm going to try and get Jay back on. I'm going to try and get Sean back on at the request of Zach. I know you really want to talk with Sean again. So I'm definitely going to try and get Sean back on. You're muted. You're muted, brother.
Well, he's diving in past Nintendo. Now he just openly admitted that he needs to expand his horizons and talk more Xbox and PlayStation.
Well,
so
he doesn't have to, but I did see that video, and I messaged him and I laughed. And he's like, awesome. What are you laughing at? I'm like,
well, we're definitely gonna bring on some more guests. I know we did that for a little while. We kind of backed off of it for a little while. So we're definitely gonna have on some more guests. I've been talking with a handful of people as well, some small indie devs, guys who have sent me some of their projects and shown me some of their stuff. So we'll definitely have some of that on. Of course, we're gonna have our folks from Legacy Comics come back on their next wave of books. I keep getting sent some really cool stuff, man. And those guys are really moving and shaking, and they got some big stuff coming up. So again, thanks everybody. Thanks you guys for the podcast. Thank you guys for listening. This has been the Loot Bros, and we're out.
Peace.
Happy New Year, everyone.
Is the Lord. He made us in his own image, and loving formed us from the dust. Behold the glory of the one who sits upon the moon. Justice and lords, yet everything in it. For out of nothing he created all life. It is the life, yet everything in it. For out of nothing he created all life. So what shall we say? That men are without excuse by what's been made. God has revealed himself. Without excuse, the Lord commands the valleys be cast down, the mountains rise, the clouds shine. Are you so question good? Your doubt is wise, as if you made yourself. No man, you are right.
And they say there is no